Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawk. We are Wisconsin.
It has finally arrived, opening day 2016, and we welcome you from a frigid Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But no sweat. We got tulips, and we got a roof, and we got epic tailgating going on by the thousands outside Miller Park. Great to have everybody back, and we're ready for baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin. The Giants and the Brewers will kick off Game 1 of this championship season. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to be with you once again. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. We'll hear from Sophia Minnaert in just a moment. It is our 10th year together, believe it or not. And Rock, each year is so special. This is one of those great days, not just in Milwaukee, but all across baseball. Your 22nd opening day as a broadcaster. It's a pleasure to be with you, my friend.
You too, my buddy. And again, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this job. Opening day is always special, particularly here in Milwaukee. We have the roof, the tailgating going on. I know these players down there in the field so excited about being here on opening day. 7 players on the roster for the Brewers have never made an opening day roster, so it's going to be an exciting day. Who knows how the season is going to start or how it's going to end, but certainly opening day is a special time in baseball.
It's fun for us to try to put ourselves in the minds of the players, and specifically this year in the mind of the manager. Craig Counsell ready to manage opening day for the first time. He's standing by with Sophia.
Thanks, B.A. Craig, there is nothing like opening day here in Milwaukee. So how are you feeling? What's the significance of this day for you, your first as manager?
I think we're just ready to get started. There's a lot of, ceremony, but, we've been playing for 6 weeks, practicing for 6 weeks, working hard for 6 weeks. So we're all ready to just play, make it count, and start this ride.
Just 3 remaining starters from a year ago. So as you were putting together your opening day lineup, what are your expectations for this group?
Well, I think we're going to get better as the season goes on, for sure. I'm excited about this group. I wrote the lineup out today, and I looked at last year's lineup on opening day, and I like it. And I was excited how it looked. So we're excited. It's the start of this. We're at the start of something. We get to control what it looks like. We get to decide what it looks like, and that's exciting.
All right, thanks, Craig, for your time. B.A., we're ready to go here down on the field.
All right, thanks a lot, Sophia, and thanks to Craig Counsell. There he is, Jeremy Jeffers. He's ready to roll. Keon Broxton, all the pieces put in place. We got the first pitch. The season begins next. Milwaukee.
That means something. It does. The logo means something to me. The logo means something. It makes you want to work harder for it. Makes you want to work harder at it. Just my passion of what I want to do. And there's a responsibility, I think, that you feel and that you hope you can help develop. You remember times that were great. You feel like you saw everybody wearing Brewer t-shirts or Brewer hats, everybody talking about Brewer baseball. And I think the fact that we're building that right now, to me, it makes it even more fun. Our talent is what's going to also have an impact.
That was like, oh, what a catch by Scooter Jeanette, going up the ladder to make that play.
We're going to hit home runs this year.
That is back there. Santana hits another one out.
The pitching has a chance to be a real strength.
Swing and a miss. Curveball swung on and missed.
And some guys that get back to a level they've been at.
Votto swings and misses. Matt Garza with a shutout. A 1-0 victory for the Brew Crew.
We're at the start of something.
And wouldn't you know it, right to him, Yadiel Rivera. Welcome to the big leagues.
What's important is that we build a strong foundation.
Arcia turns it around. Way back. Goodbye. A home run.
Every one of those guys has plenty of talent to take a major league field and win baseball games.
Nice running catch by Broxton.
Wow.
Show off his arm, and he got him. Keon Broxton.
Move over to the skill part of the game where the skills show up every single night. Then you start winning baseball games.
Lucroy launches. This is way back. And the Brewers have won.
Every story has a beginning. Every journey starts with one step. It's time for a new era of Brewers baseball.
And what a great setup for our opening day matchup today. The roof is closed. Miller Park is filling up, a sellout crowd today. And it is the Brew Crew and the San Francisco Giants. Never mind that 34 degrees outside. It's perfect inside Miller Park. The Brewers are celebrating the 15th anniversary of this beautiful venue. The 48th season as the Brewers open up as a franchise, 19th as a member of the National League. And there is the guy who gets the opening day start this year, homegrown right-hander Willie Peralta.
Yeah, he was fired up about being told that he was going to be the opening day starter. Kind of a bounce-back season the Brewers are hoping for Willie. Last year, a little disappointing. He battled some injuries. He made only 20 starts and a 5-10 record. But here at Miller Park in his career, he's been very good. 22-19 and a .416 earned run average, and has had very good numbers against the Giants. 3-1 in 5 starts against San Francisco. And Bruce Bochy has a pretty good ball club that he's put together, pretty much the same as last year.
No question. 3 World Series titles going back to the 2010 season. The Potawatomi batting order for the Giants: Denard Span, Joe Panik, Buster Posey, a former MVP. Middle of the order is Hunter Pence, Brandon Belt, and Matt Duffy. Brandon Crawford, Madison Bumgarner will bat 8th and pitch. Angel Pagan will bat 9th. And it's interesting that both of these managers have their pitcher batting 8th today. And this 2016 season is ready to get underway. Peralta's first offering to Denard Span as a strike, and rock. Away we go, partner.
And Craig Counsell said it best. I think everybody's just anxious to get baseball going and games for real. It was a long spring. Guys been ready for a while now. And Willie Peralta's been throwing the baseball well. His last 2 starts were very good down in Arizona.
And you can tell he is pumped up. That fastball's riding in there at 96, 97 miles an hour right out of the gates for Peralta. Very much looking forward to this first opening day assignment. Remember last year it was Kyle Loesch and the power of Peralta. Span hits one deep into right center field, but there to make the play is the Brewers' new right fielder, Domingo Santana, and that's how the season begins.
Well, let's check out the Bernard Brewers defense, and you'll see some new faces out there. A few guys that are making their first opening day roster. You got Ryan Braun. He moves from right field to left field, making room for Domingo Santana. The youngster Keon Broxton. You're going to love watching this guy. Aaron Hill, VR, Jeanette, and Carter from third to first, and Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate.
And there is the new first baseman, Chris Carter, the power bat, as Peralta pumps another strike in there to Joe Panik. His Giants team, they are expecting to contend in the National League West this year. They've bolstered their pitching staff. They've added Johnny Cueto and Jeff Samardzija to one of the best in the business, Bochy starter today, in Madison Bumgarner. And they also have a very decorated position player core as well. Guys at young ages who are performing well on the big league stage, including this guy, Joe Panik, who was an all-star last year. And a ground ball out to short. VR will make the play, and 2 quick outs for Willie Peralta.
Yeah, Giants don't have too many changes in their starting lineup when you talk about their position players. Denard Span, first year with the Giants, he's going to be out in center field, but everybody else coming back, and it's a very talented Giants ball club, as you mentioned.
Well, some familiar names in that Giants lineup with Buster Posey, a former MVP, Hunter Pence. And here is Posey now, and he swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Rock, you've been through a number of opening days. Obviously, from your playing days, I'm sure fighting the adrenaline, the nerves has, even for a guy like Posey who's been around, has something to do with how you perform today.
Yep, and everybody starts out 0 for 0, so it's always important to get that first hit, you know, get some confidence going early in the season. You know, Posey, you got Hunter Pence, you got a lot of veterans in this lineup for San Francisco, but you know, Willie Peralta just the guy to start on opening day.
Diving stop, Aaron Hill to his feet, the throw in time. What a play. All right, the season is underway. We got some highlights already. Crowd is fired up. The Brewers coming to bat for the first time in 2016. Hotel and casino, spend the night with luxury. Roof is all closed up this opening day 2016. Craig Counsell, his first opening day as a major league manager, took over in early May of last season, and of course had some time in the front office with Doug Melvin. It's a new regime here in Milwaukee, and Counsell ready to lead the charge. He said he would not put any limits on this team. He loves the talent. Domingo Santana is his leadoff hitter, then Jonathan VR, followed by Braun. Middle of the order is Lucroy, Carter, and Hill. Scooter Gennett, Willie Peralta, and Keon Broxton round out the Potawatomi Brewers batting order against one of the best in the business, left-hander Madison Bumgarner.
Well, no doubt. I mean, he performs the best on the biggest stages in the World Series. 8th season for Bumgarner. An 85-58 record. Back-to-back years, Bumgarner has posted 18 wins.
And this will be his third consecutive opening day assignment. His first pitch down and into Domingo Santana. Heck of a start for the Brew Crew here today. Beautiful play by Aaron Hill, who's manning third base to start the season. And Santana cut it a miss, 1-1.
Yeah, Bumgarner, you know, 91 and 93 with a fastball. He'll cut it. He throws a lot of strikes. Very rarely, if ever, walks batters. And you figure the Brewers are going to be up there aggressive against Madison Bumgarner today.
Santana rifles one into left field, a base hit. Good start for the Brew Crew and their new leadoff hitter. A lot of power, a lot of speed at the top of that lineup in Domingo Santana.
That's a nice way to start the season. Not only do you get a base hit, but you start the game opening day, get a base hit off of Bumgarner to get things going for Milwaukee. Santana had a terrific spring. He looked good.
Santana aboard, a threat to run. And here is Jonathan VR coming to the Brewers from the Houston Astros. Well, there is some news on Madison Bumgarner. The Giants releasing the fact that Bumgarner is battling a touch of the flu to start play today. He's going to try to give it a go, obviously, and going to be watched carefully by Bruce Bochy and Dave Righetti, the pitching coach. But it is the same flu that knocked Buster Posey out of a couple of games in their Bay Bridge series against the Athletics. And Posey is back in the starting lineup, but I'm sure not completely 100%. And now Bumgarner dealing with it.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I mean, if they're the Giants, that stuff can race through a clubhouse very quickly.
But there is that old saying in sports as well, beware of the weary. Sometimes
you have your best games. You know, you're nice and relaxed. You're not trying too hard, and you're not overswing, overthrowing.
What was that old story about Babe Ruth? He didn't have the flu every day. He just made sure he felt like he had the flu every day with his evening activities.
That's right. There's ways to do that.
And he had a pretty good career. So we'll keep an eye on Bumgarner today. 26 years of age. And one of the most decorated 26-year-olds in all of baseball with what he's done in the postseason in his 3 postseason appearances. As VR sounded like he broke his bat.
And a cut fastball from Bumgarner. He's got a good one. And four-seamer, cutter. He'll throw a curveball and a changeup. Throw a lot of fastballs to right-handers. Brewers only have one right-hand or left-handed hitter in their starting lineup. That's Scooter Gennett.
A leadoff single for Santana. The switch hitter VR at the plate in the 2 spot for Craig Counsell. A lot of talk about the lineup this year. Lucroy certainly a candidate to hit second. Counsell really likes Santana in that leadoff spot, providing the power. And then you get into the Braun, Lucroy, Chris Carter, Aaron Hill grouping, and there's terrific power in that group of 4 as well. So the Brewers, as Craig Counsell mentioned, is a team that is going to hit some home runs. That's going to be one of their trademarks, you would think, this season.
And then you also want to have some guys that are pretty good at getting on base. That's Lucroy and VR. I mean, work the count a little bit, get on base for the big guys to hit the homers.
Bumgarner delivers, and VR draws the walk. So a couple of men on base against Madison Bumgarner to start this one. Get him in early trouble, try to take advantage. Always the game plan against an elite pitcher, as Ryan Braun will step in for the first time this year. Braun back to form last season, made the All-Star team. Had a good year last year. Back injury and a thumb injury hurt him a little bit last season. He actually had back surgery after the season last season and was a little delayed in spring training to get started. Well, once he got back in there, he swung the bat well. As a matter of fact, he hit his first exhibition season home run while in Houston earlier, late in the spring in the last exhibition series.
Didn't take him long. I mean, before spring training even started, he said he needs about 20 at bats. Came close to that, but Ryan experienced a little bit of discomfort with the back right at the end of spring training, but feels as though it's not an issue.
Ryan had 16 spring training at bats, 7 hits, and had 2 home runs. Had homers in back-to-back games in that exhibition series against the Astros. Braun, Scooter Gennett, and Jonathan Lucroy are the 3 holdovers in the opening day lineup. Matter of fact, those 3 have started the last 3 opening days for Milwaukee, in the middle of all of these new faces.
I see Bumgarner not worried about coming inside too much. He likes to bust that cutter in on the hands of the right-handed batters. Just missing a couple of times to Braun. Had a rough spring, did Bumgarner. Earned run average around 10. I don't think anybody's too worried about him, though.
Yeah, his last start was on a minor league field. He went 6 innings in that game. His pitching coach, Dave Righetti, said he'd love to have had one more exhibition start for Bumgarner, but that's not the way it worked out. As Braun swings and misses. Big cut.
That's a good pitch. That cutter doesn't move much, but it breaks very sharp, very late. Under the hands of Braun here. You can see the way he holds it. You see that spin, and just off the bat, a little bit out in front. Looks like a good pitch out of the hand.
The cut fastball of Madison Bumgarner, the thing that separates him from the rest. 2-2 to Braun, 2 on.
And once he has you looking inside for that pitch, he's going to start sinking it away, and he will throw a changeup once in a while, not too often. Throw a curveball up there from time to time, but he likes to stay hard on the hands of the right-handed batters. Good numbers with runners in scoring position last year for Braun.
Now Braun had 25 homers last year, the most since he hit 41 in 2012. 25 homers, 84 runs batted in for Braun, and he played in 140 games last year, and the games played is going to be the story for Ryan this season. Back is healthy, but requires a lot of maintenance. Same with the thumb. As Braun gets jammed into center field, going back onto this span, and Santana will tag and advance to third. So a runner does advance. Braun just missed the sweet spot. Otherwise, might have sent one out of here.
Yeah, that cutter got in on his hands, and look at Braun's face. He knows he just missed it. Still sent Span back against the wall and able to advance Santana to third.
And here comes Jonathan Lucroy. A lot of off-season speculation wondering if Lucroy would even be in a Brewers uniform to start opening day this year. And he had some comments this off-season that riled a lot of folks up, but Lucroy has gone with the no drama approach to start this season. Those are his words, and that's a good way to start the year.
He just wants to play. He likes it here in Milwaukee.
Sure.
Has no control over it.
.283 hitter with the runners in scoring position last year. Lucroy has been much better than that throughout his career. What he called a down season. Started early with a broken toe and finished with a concussion.
That's your prototypical cleanup hitter, right? Or Jonathan Lucroy. Everybody thinking that he was going to be in the #2 spot. But a guy that makes good contact, shoots the ball all over the field, and has an opportunity to drive in a run.
Trying to get back to his numbers from 2014 when he hit .301 and set a major league record for doubles in a season by a catcher. At 53 doubles 2 years ago. He was the all-star starter. And then things went south for him, and a lot of injuries had a lot to do with that in 2015. The numbers down, especially the batting average. And a player who prides himself on getting on base, hitting for average, fashions himself a .300 hitter every year.
And don't be surprised if he swings at this pitch.
And Baumgartner misses with a fastball. Walked him on 4 straight. Bases loaded. And the big bopper coming up, Chris Carter.
Well, you know, Bochy is a big concern. Not only did he have a rough spring, but he's not feeling well today. And for a guy that very rarely, if ever, walks batters, he only had 39 walks last year in 218 innings. To go with 234 strikeouts, so already 2 walks in the first.
Great spot for Chris Carter to introduce himself to Brewers fans. This is his first ever game at Miller Park. He's been around the league a little bit, time with the Athletics and the Houston Astros most recently. Never played here though. And a ballpark that is tailor-made for his power. Carter has tremendous power to all fields, but where he is at his best is gap to gap. His center field power is impressive.
Yeah, just crazy power. He doesn't have to get all one or get extension to hit him out of the ballpark, especially here at Miller Park.
In case you're wondering, Chris Carter has 2 career grand slams, 2012 and 2014. So every other year he's been good for a grand slam, kind of like the Giants in their World Series titles. He's got a hitter's count, 2-0.
Good
3
patience.
balls, no strikes.
Oh, that's good patience. A lot of guys swinging that pitch on 2-0. Another guy that will swing 3-0 right here.
Brewers had a 3 up, 3 down top of the first against the Giants at the plate. Great play by Hill, and now threatening to score against Baumgartner. Green light. Nope. Takes it all the way. Strike 1. Last year, Carter hit 24 homers for the Astros. Had 37 home runs the year before. And he's hit at least 24 the last 3 seasons as a big leaguer. Inside, ball 4. RBI the easy way, and the Brewers score first. And a standing ovation here at Miller Park.
Good patience, huh? I mean, you got to tip your hat to these guys. You know they have to be amped up. Opening day, nice crowd here at Milwaukee, and showing good patience at the plate.
And an early visit for Dave Righetti, the Giants pitching coach.
I would imagine Madison Bumgarner hasn't had too many 3-walk innings in his career.
With that strikeout to walk ratio at pushing 7-1. Quick trip to the mound for Righetti. And that is a rare visit in the first inning with Madison Bumgarner on the mound. Here comes Aaron Hill. Uniform already dirty after that beautiful diving stop, robbing Buster Posey of a hit. That's how the top of the first ended.
They hadn't played much third base, but they handled themselves pretty well in spring.
Hill very familiar with Madison Bumgarner and their time together in the National League West. Hill coming to the Brewers from the D-backs. And a soft breaking ball in there for a strike.
I was wondering when he was going to do that. Posey going right to the curveball, having a difficult time throwing his fastball for strikes.
Hill by far has the most at-bats against Bumgarner. 38 career at-bats. He's actually homered off him twice. On the ground, this might be two. Crawford to panic and a double play, and it ends just like that. But a lot of pitches for the ill Madison Bumgarner. Brewers get 3 walks. They get a run on the board. Off and running opening day. Brewers Giants on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Start a 1-0 lead as we head to the second inning, and coming into the season, who would be the starting center fielder was one of the major questions to start spring training, and Keon Broxton made the opening day roster for the first time and is making his first start here today. So here's 3 things you want to know about the center fielder. His hometown in Lakeland, Florida, drafted in the 3rd round of the 2009 draft by Arizona and acquired by the Brewers in December in the Jason Rogers trade. BA.
All right, Sophia, great to see you again. Always great work on the Milwaukee Bucks coverage, and glad to have Sophia back for our Milwaukee Brewers coverage this year. Keon Broxton is excited to be part of this mix, his 3rd organization now, as Willie Peralta faces Hunter Pence.
Good to see everybody in it. Ushers, walking into the ballpark. Our Booth family here at Miller Park. Augie and Davey, Craig.
And our great TV crew. We have all of our terrific camera operators, all the folks in video and audio, outstanding technicians, all of them, and all led in the truck by Brent Reeland and Mark Vittorio. Pence goes up the middle, and it's booted by Jeanette, and Pence will reach. So we'll see how they score that one. Certainly a play that Jeanette would tell you he should have made, but remember, Pence runs well.
Well, I think if he gets it right away, he's going to be able to get the out. I mean, you can see where Pence is. If he catches that baseball and gets it off to first base, he's going to get an out. And looks like they're going to give him an error.
E4 on Scooter Jeanette. Getting the chance to start today, the left-handed hitter against the left-handed pitching Bumgarner. So a man on, and here is Brandon Belt. Shows bunt.
Yeah, you got the exaggerated shift. Craig Counsell likes to put his 3rd baseman on the first base side of second base on the shift, and leaving VR, the shortstop, in his normal spot. That and the fact that Aaron Hill very accustomed to playing second base, so he's not so much out of position.
This is a very good San Francisco lineup. Got power and speed, disciplined hitters for the most part.
Yeah, they'll make you work. They're not going to swing too early in the count unless they get a pitch down the middle. They will take their walks. Manufacture runs very well. Don't hit many homers. They don't play in a ballpark that allows too many home runs.
Part of a very good National League West this year. The Diamondbacks are going to be a contender, you would think. The Dodgers have won 3 straight divisions in the West as Belt turns one around. That is way back. And Belt off the base of the wall. Pence revs it up, and he'll end up at 3rd. So Brandon Belt, following the error by Jeanette, wraps a double over Santana's head, and the Giants threaten here in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, he's some kind of low ball hitter, and Willie gave him a low fastball. Mid 90s, and Belt able to turn it around. Check it out. That was actually a slider that stayed in the middle part of the plate, and Brandon Belt down and in. able to center on it and hit it hard over the head of Santana out there in right field.
Ball had so much topspin on it. Ends up at the base of the wall. In right. Bell hit that one hard. So here's Matt Duffy now. Second and third, nobody out. First ball swinging, a shot into the gap. And this is going to bring in 2 runs. The throw comes into second. Got a play here. The tag and out at second base. Ryan Braun cuts down the base runner. 2-run score on the single by Duffy. And the putout goes 7-4.
Man, just a beautiful throw. Quick to the baseball. Got rid of it quickly and, very accurately. And they get the out. Fastball down and in. And Matt Duffy finds the gap. A couple of RBIs, but they're able to eliminate Duffy on a good throw by Braun. Jeanette with the tag.
Braun moving to left field. And a position he's very comfortable with. Left field. It's his first game in left field since July 20th of 2013 when he made the change, and Crawford slices one foul.
Pretty easy transition for him, right to left.
He said, it's interesting, Rock, he said he feels most comfortable on the left side of the field, whether that be third base, shortstop, left field. He played obviously third base when he came to the big leagues, was a shortstop in college before he moved to third at the University of Miami. I don't know, something about the tilt of the field and the way all the action is.
Yeah, maybe, right? Who knows?
He has seen the game from that side of the field his entire life, so moving to right field was a much bigger adjustment for him, he said.
And you move him to left field, allowing Santana to play right, who's got the stronger arm, not necessarily more accurate than Braun, but the bigger arm out there in right. Your best throwing outfielder is going to be your right fielder typically.
Inning started with an error, and then a double, and then a 2 RBI single by Duffy. Giants quickly take the lead here, 2-1.
And those are the things. I mean, you make one error against this ball club, and they're going to put 2 runs on the board on you. Great Counsell really stressing fundamentals and discipline out there in the field, and Brewers aren't going to be able to make too many errors this year if they want to win some games.
Jeanette will get another shot. Much easier chance this time. He takes care of Crawford for out number 2.
And Brewers very diligent before batting practice each and every day in spring training, going over the fundamentals, bunt plays, pickoffs, cutoffs, and relays, and just stressing fundamentals as you would expect from Craig Counsell.
See a couple of members of his coaching staff new to the organization. The bench coach Pat Murphy leaning on the rail there, and the new pitching coach Derek Johnson standing by the lineup. 2 outs. Here's Madison Bumgarner, the pitcher, batting 8th, and a very good hitting pitcher, Bumgarner.
He's got 11 career home runs, 5 of them last year.
Back-to-back Silver Slugger awards for Bumgarner. That's the award given to the best hitter at a particular position. Peralta's got him quickly 0-2. Only Yovani Gallardo has more home runs by an active pitcher than Bumgarner. Gallardo has hit 12, and he's not hitting much anymore in the American League.
Baltimore Orioles for Yo.
After a year with the Texas Rangers last year. 5-time opening day starter for the Brewers. Los last year. Peralta gets his first shot this season. Both managers batting their pitcher 8th today. I think fans are getting used to that notion. We certainly are. I mean, it's been going on here in Milwaukee, even going back into the Ned Yost era when they experimented with the pitcher batting 8th.
And Brewers have crunched the numbers, and it's kind of a wash, right? Doesn't create, more scoring opportunities necessarily, but The idea is to have a guy like Pagan, who's on deck, as your second leadoff hitter. So since you have Pagan and then Span, two guys that can run, can lead off.
And get on base in front of your run producers. Bumgarner got jammed in the infield. Carter calls it. He's got it. And the inning is over. But the Giants strike. An error to start the inning. And a 2 RBI single by Duffy makes it 2-1. It is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. We're just mocking that snow. Roof is closed up. 65 degrees inside Miller Park and sideways snow outside.
Wasn't it 70 degrees yesterday?
I think it was.
It was.
Sun was out. It'll be 70 again, Rock, at some point. Scooter Gennett will lead off for the Brewers. Madison Bumgarner, after a shaky first inning with 3 walks. Gennett gets the chance to start against a left-handed starter. And the splits are not in his favor over his early career, his brief career in the major leagues.
But you got to keep him in the lineup because he had such a good spring and was even hitting lefties down in spring training.
Talking to Scooter Gennett about the left-right situation, he said, look, I've been facing some of the toughest left-handed relievers in games that I've started. Most of those at-bats have come when he's been in the lineup against a right-handed starter. Then as you get into the specialist left-handed relievers, those guys are going to dominate left-handers.
Right.
And it's no easy run here against Madison Bumgarner, but Gennett fashions himself an everyday player. And he turns one around. Scooter Gennett, goodbye. How about it?
Right, there you go. Stay hot. Yeah. I tell you, he's been swinging the bat. Started in spring training and never stopped. Had a 2-home-run game down in Arizona. He gets the start against Bumgarner, takes him yard. That was a rocket out of here. Wow.
Gennett hit 4 spring training home runs in 10 games. And his first at bat of the season, he launches one into the Lowe's level in right field. Oh, man.
Did he have the Easter Bunny suit on this morning?
He was the one in the Easter Bunny suit. I think he hit a home run that game as well.
2 of them. Had 2 of them.
So what a start for Gennett. He has been imploring whoever will listen that he's good to go against left-handed pitching. Look at this swing right here. Powerball home run number 1 for Gennett.
Boy, talk about extension, and Bumgarner didn't fool him on that pitch.
Bumgarner giving up a run on a bases-loaded walk to Carter in the first, and Gennett destroys one.
You only wish it looked like that coming in nice and slow, and Scooter able to pop the hips open and knock one out of here.
Peralta takes a ball inside. I've not confirmed this notion, but there are reports out there that this is the first game in Major League Baseball history where the pitchers have batted 8th for both teams on opening day. We're efforting that notion as Peralta takes a call at strike 3.
All right.
That'd be cool to have a major league first after all these years for you in the booth. Your 22nd opening day.
And I was here for that.
And you're here for that. Get to see pitchers bat 8.
All the wonderful things that have happened in his booth. I'll never forget it.
Our 10th year together. Hard to believe, partner.
It's been fun, huh?
How did we survive this long? Here's Keon Broxton making his Brewers debut today.
Yeah, usually my partners last 5 years and take off.
Doubled him up.
Good job.
Not going anywhere. As long as you'll have me.
10 more, buddy.
Well, Keon Broxton. This will be a fun player to watch in the early weeks of the season to see what he can do. You know he's got to be nervous. I mean, the adrenaline, the nerves. His first opening day roster in the major leagues.
Yep, get that first at bat out of the way, and everything becomes natural.
It's not his major league debut. He got in a few games last year with the Pirates, but that tremendous outfield in Pittsburgh with McCutchen and Polanco and Marte, there was no room at the end for Keon Broxton. As Sophia pointed out, and the 3 things you need to know, Broxton was very welcoming of the trade. He loved his time with Pittsburgh and felt like he learned a lot from guys like Andrew McCutchen, who is a great leader and mentor. But this opens the door for him in Milwaukee. Brewers traded Jason Rogers to the Pirates. Bit of a surprising trade. And Pittsburgh dealing from a position of strength as well and sending Keon to Milwaukee. You don't see trades inside the division very often, but both satisfied a need.
2 completely different players. Types of players. You're going to like watching Broxton out there in the outfield. I'll tell you, he can run him down. He's got a great arm, very accurate, and runs him down effortlessly out there in center field.
In the air to right, coming in is Hunter Pence, and the second out as Broxton is retired. Giants defensively, Rock, one of the best in the major leagues around their infield. They've added to their outfield scenario with Denard Span, who's coming to San Francisco from the Washington Nationals. And Menard's Giants defense about as good as you get around the infield.
Yeah, second best as far as errors go in the National League last year, and up the middle, outstanding. Brandon Crawford and Joe Panic. They're 2 good ones out there at the Keystone.
Santana back up there, his second trip to the plate, hitting leadoff for Craig Counsell. Santana with a single and a run scored in the first inning. This guy has star power written all over him. If he can put it all together, he has the body type, the speed, the power. He's got it all, man. Looks like a young Matt Kemp.
Yeah, and was working on his plate discipline in spring training and did a pretty good job with it. Showed a good eye at the plate, trying to get the count in his favor.
Well, you never know spring training numbers if they carry over to the regular season, but Santana swung the bat extremely well this spring. Hit .350, had 14 hits in 15 games in the spring, and a couple of homers during the exhibition schedule. And as we saw last year, pole to pole power. No ballpark can hold a well struck Domingo Santana ball.
And he walked 7 times. I mean, that was the one thing that he wanted to improve upon, his plate discipline, on base percentage, swinging at strikes.
He was one of the big pieces that came from the Astros in the Carlos Gomez Mike Fiers trade, and a deal orchestrated by new general manager David Stearns, who was with Houston prior to his arrival here in Milwaukee. As Bumgarner strikes out Santana. How about Scooter Gennett getting a chance to face a lefty? And Gennett, the first home run of the season for the Brew Crew to tie this game at 2. Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Gennett's first home run against a left-handed pitcher ever in the big leagues. And it comes against one of the game's best left-handed pitchers in Madison Bumgarner.
And no cheapie, about halfway up that second deck and right. Picking up right where he left off in Phoenix.
So 2-2 game. We go to the 3rd inning.
Scooter hit the weight room this offseason.
He looks bigger, stronger. Put on about 15 to 20 pounds this offseason.
Yep.
Working out in Florida. Angel Pagan will lead off for the Giants. And all the excitement of opening day, all the adrenaline rush that comes with it. Now these players start to settle in. High expectations for Willie Peralta. It's one of the reasons Council wanted to give him the opening day nod. A little bit of a vote of confidence. He is a homegrown product. Signed with the Brewers at the age of 16 in 2005. That 05 draft and signing period. Peralta wasn't drafted, he was just signed from the Dominican Republic. But that 05 year is most known for the Ryan Braun year, the year he was drafted out of the University of Miami. But very quietly, a 16-year-old signed with the Brewers that season.
And Willie came into spring training with a different focus. He just looked a little bit different than he did a year ago. Wants to stay healthy. Injuries. He just never felt all that comfortable out on the mound last year for whatever reason. And yeah, the numbers bared that out.
Peralta, talk about Jeanette coming into camp with a little weight on, good weight, muscle weight. Peralta just the opposite. He dropped some pounds. Felt like he was a little too heavy last year and had an oblique injury to deal with. He'd never been injured. He's always been a real workhorse throughout his minor league career and his early major league career.
And limited to only 20 starts last year.
And an injury that just would not improve to the level that got Peralta's confidence back that it wasn't going to give away again, that oblique injury, as he misses badly on Pagan. And the 9-hole hitter for the Giants draws a leadoff walk. It's 2 seasons ago that Craig Counsell cites as one of the reasons why he got the opening day start. He was a 17-game winner, Rock, and then it was a bit of a downhill slide last year.
Hey, and up to that point, he had some pretty good numbers. I mean, maybe the wins and losses didn't bear it out. 35 and 37. You know, in his time with Milwaukee, earned run average just a touch over 4 in that time, but needs a good bounce back year this year. Brewers need him.
Peralta will turn 27 in May. Span tries to bunt the runner over. He's actually a little older than Madison Bumgarner, believe it or not. This gives you an idea of how incredibly successful at a young age Bumgarner has been. There's really been hardly anyone like him in the history of Major League Baseball as far as pitchers go. Already a 3-time World Series champion. He's been an MVP in a World Series as well.
I mean, would you say that, would it be fair to say that he won the World Series pretty much single-handedly against Kansas City a couple of years ago?
Yeah, 2014. Bumgarner already with 7 career postseason wins. Pagan looks like he wants to run. Holds his ground. Span takes a strike. 0-2.
You like the way Willie has been able to keep that velocity. 86 with the off-speed pitch. He was working on some changeups in spring training, which is why his numbers were a little bit high early on. Doing a few more changeups than he normally would. Be nice for him to be able to get confidence in that pitch.
I think every pitcher in every spring training camp is working on a changeup. Peralta no different. He'd like to find one. That might be the pitch that could separate him into that elite status with his velocity and his slider. He tends to dominate right-handed batters statistically. Lefties can give him trouble.
Yeah, the breaking ball that he threw to Belt, right? He left it down and in, and Belt hammered it off the wall and right. That's where that changeup comes in handy.
There goes Pagan, and the pitch is outside. Throw to second is late. Stolen base for Angel Pagan. He got a great jump. That was going to be a tough out for Lucroy, even with a perfect throw.
That's what we're talking about with the 2 leadoff hitters. You got your number 9 hitter, gets on with a walk. He can run. Might have been close, but I don't think Lucroy had much of a shot.
Puts a runner into scoring position. Nobody out. 2-2 is the count on Span. The Giants' new center fielder. Didn't miss by much. Full count.
Brian Gorman, a home plate umpire. Willie wanted that one. I think he thought that was going to be called a strike.
The crew chief getting this opening day assignment behind the plate. Mark Carlson, Mike DeMuro, and Quinn Wolcott, his crew members. Now it's full. Base hit. Pagan around third, and Broxton will fire it in late, and another run is in. The Giants have the lead. A leadoff walk, a stolen base, and Denard Span's first RBI as a Giant.
Inning starts with an error in the second inning. Giants able to put up 2 runs. Inning starts with a walk in this inning, and the Giants cash in quickly. Stolen base hit. There's that 2-seam fastball from Peralta out over the plate. Tried to catch the inside corner to get Span looking on the pitch before it, and Span able to hit it into center field. So just like that, the Giants take the lead once again.
Can be a relentless offensive attack, the San Francisco Giants. There are no holes in that batting order outside the pitcher, and even their pitcher today can swing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Giants got 2 last inning. Matt Duffy drove in a pair with a single. He was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Braun cut him down. And Joe Panik takes a strike. All-star last year. Has emerged as one of the top second basemen in the major leagues.
Hits right-handers, hits left-handers, has a pretty good understanding at the plate. Doesn't try and do too much. Span will run when he's healthy. Former Twin, former National outfielder.
Closer. There he goes. Hit and run is on. A fly ball to left. And Span will retreat. First out of the inning for Peralta as Panik is retired. Well, the San Francisco Giants anxiously awaiting an even year 2016 because it started in 2010. Baumgartner was part of that group. World Series title, and then it was Romo who finished the game in 2012. And then against the Kansas City Royals, the Panda. The final out, and Hunter Pence leading the charge. 3 World Series titles since that 2010 season. Pablo Sandoval now with the Red Sox, and not even a starter with the Red Sox.
And the odd years in that stretch, the Giants never even made the playoffs. Missed the playoffs completely.
Including last season. I think the 2012 World Series run was maybe most impressive. I thought Bruce Bochy during that run managed about as good as you can do it with his bullpen. And their comeback in the division series round against the Reds, they were down 0-2. That was the year they played the first 2 games in San Francisco. Lost both of those games and then came back and won 3 in a row against the Reds to advance, and then they would go on to win the World Series. And Posey was a big part of that comeback. Hit a grand slam against Matt Latos of the Reds in 2012. That was a huge blow and ended up propelling the Giants in Game 5 to the League Championship Series. It's a very competitive division, the NL West. Here's the 0-2. Posey lays the bat out there. Jeanette's got a long way to go. That's going to fall. A base hit. Oh, how does he do it? Buster Posey.
Pretty good piece of hitting, right? I mean, it's a pretty good slider. Not a good hitter's pitch, but able to lay the bat out there, dump it into right field. They're really just trying to waste one hit right here. Down and away, and look at Posey, one-handed, able to get the barrel of the bat on it and dumps it in front of Santana and right. Up in no man's land.
A former batting champion, Buster Posey, and great hitters seem to get lucky a lot more than others.
Put the ball in play, give yourself a chance, right? That makes up for that great play by Aaron Hill in the first.
Yeah, they all even out.
Right.
Just like you always say.
That's what they say.
So here is Hunter Pence now. Reached on an error his last time up. Giants are threatening. They have a run in. 2 on, 1 out. And a 3-2 lead. Pitch count is climbing for Peralta. After a nice and tidy first inning, 1-2-3, retired the Giants. Pence hoping for a healthy season this season. He missed 110 games last year. Giants were a completely different team with him than they were without him. Matter of fact, they were 12 games under 500 without him. Coming our way.
Got it.
Make a play.
Yep.
Too tall.
Haven't had too many baseball foul balls in this booth. There you are.
9 years here. Never had a ball.
I know. I mean, maybe 1 or 2.
Nothing in this particular window.
Well, before you, there was a couple.
I don't know. It didn't really exist before I came.
There wasn't any baseball here before you got here?
We don't count any of that. It's like a college basketball coach, you know, in the Brian Anderson era. We've not had a ball up here.
Right, yeah.
I'm ready for the first one, though.
Did you bring your glove?
Oh, you know, I forgot my glove.
You know why you forgot it? It's at my house. You forgot it.
Now, how did it end up at your house?
Well, because you left it here on the counter, you know, the last game of the season, and I figured I'd better grab it.
Wow. You have turned into
I brought my catcher's mitt. I'm ready for that.
The booth equipment manager, Bill Schroeder.
You want me to bring it tomorrow?
I would like that. I'd like you to break it in first. Peralta could use a strikeout or a ground ball. He'll take either one. The 1-2 to Pence, and a wave and a miss. Down he goes. He got him with a slider. And there's a strikeout he needed. That's his first of the season. 2 outs in the inning now.
Yeah, that's what he was hoping to do against Buster Posey, but Posey able to just throw the bat out there. This time a little bit further away, and Pence, who, as we have found out, had a rough go of it on opening day in his career.
The numbers are staggering for Hunter Pence. You wonder why he even plays on opening day throughout his career. Let's see, like 1 for 28,
something like that. Yeah. But he makes up for it
all the other days of the year. He is the one free swinger in this lineup, in a lineup that is stacked with disciplined hitters. But Pence thrives in this lineup because he does so much damage. But he's thinking about that one. Brandon Belt had a double his last time up. And a little flare. That's going to fall. A base hit's going to bring in another run. Denard Span will score. And 2 flares in this inning. The Giants have a 4-2 lead.
They just put the ball in play, right? Don't have to hit it hard. Able to find holes a couple of times, and inning started out with a walk. That base on balls, the number 9 hitter, and the Giants have 2 on the board. Got in on his hands. He wasn't about to throw that breaking pitch again, the pitch that he doubled on his first time up. Tried to come in on him, and Belt able to muscle it out into left field.
Two hits and 2 walks in the inning. 2 runs are in. And here is Matt Duffy, the 7th batter of the inning. Key moment in this game came early. The Brewers in the bottom of the first had the bases loaded with a run in, just 1 out, and a double play ended the inning.
Bumgarner walking guys at 3 walks. But able to make a pitch and get out of it.
Jeanette homered off Bumgarner last inning. A lot of offense early. 7 hits. Giants are up 4-2 with 2 men on. And Peralta, an extended inning here, trying to muscle his way through it. Matt Duffy drove in the first 2 runs for the Giants. Hit a shot into left center. And he's not biting on that slider. 2-2 now.
He got the first pitch his first time up and hit it hard into the gap, and a couple of runs scored. Willie being a little bit more careful with him this time.
Got him. There's a good one. Couple of strikeouts for Peralta, but gives up 2 walks and 2 hits. 2 runs are in. We'll chat with the boss, Mark Atanasio, after this. The 3rd inning, and one of the great traditions in sports, opening day Major League Baseball. We've got a chance to visit with the owner of the Milwaukee Brewers, Mark Atanasio. And opening day is always special. I see you got your Joe pin on in memory of your father. This, I'm sure the emotions are running wild. Good, bad memories, great memories. What's going through your mind today, Mark, as you sit for another opening day?
Well, one thing, Brian, you're becoming the master of the overstatement. But as much as I like to talk on opening day, what I used to just cherish was, my dad singing the national anthem every year. And last year we ran a video of him. He just passed away a couple months before. It was very emotional for me. And this year, emotional in a different way, to have my sons Dan and Mike, who are sitting down here with me, along with Debbie and Dan's new wife Elizabeth, to sing this year in honor of my dad. It was very special for me in a more of a heartwarming kind of way.
Man, Mark, talk about the feelings that you sit here on opening day. The crowd is a capacity crowd. The fans here in Milwaukee. I think they bought into the whole thing where the team's looking to rebuild a little bit.
Well, and starting with a couple guys at the top of the order here. You see Jonathan Villar, and they're bringing a lot of energy.
Villar sends one deep to left field. That's got a chance, and it is gone. Welcome to Milwaukee, senor. A home run for Villar. Makes it 4-3. All right. Always good to homer in your home debut with your new team, but especially in front of the boss. Who's wearing a headset.
Well, and the rebuild is looking good so far, right, Mark?
Especially when Brian sets up the pitch, and I say, yeah, we're bringing some energy here.
All right, good moment there for Jonathan Villar. Not known as a big home run hitter, but he'll take his first of the season. The Brewers have gone deep twice off Madison Bumgarner, and now Ryan Braun stepping in. And we're visiting with Mark Atanasio, and Mark, as we look at guys like Braun and Lucroy and some of the names, there aren't many that have been here through the years, but what kind of conversations are you having with guys like Braun and Lucroy, guys that have been around for a little while and have seen this organization grow as it has.
You know, Ryan and Jonathan both have very positive energy about this. Ryan mentioned during spring training this was the best energy in our clubhouse since 2011. And Jonathan, very first day, one of our young AA catchers came up to Jonathan and asked for advice. I think it's very engaging for, you know, the veterans who, wasn't that long ago, they were looking for advice. They're now, you know, dispensing the advice. I think it feels good.
As Braun goes into center field, a base hit. So the hits are coming.
Mark, were you able to address the ball club before the game today? Is that something you do typically?
No, I really leave that to Rock right before, you know, spring training. As you know, I do that, and I don't. Once the season starts, it's Craig's clubhouse, and I don't. Usually, end of the season, last series, I'll speak to the team.
We look around Miller Park, outstanding. It looks beautiful ballpark here today. Talk about some of the changes that we can notice, you know, as fans come to the ballpark here at Miller Park.
Yeah, one of the, by the way, today we have Larry Baer, the Giants CEO here, and he was commenting on how special the park is. And this park shows great at big events like this. This year we have improved retail, both in the hot corner there and also, more importantly, behind home plate. We've expanded things. There's an unbelievable, I do say, cap display. There's about 40 or 50 caps on display, and everyone looks awesome under lights. We have a new thing for kids down. We have an improved kids zone downstairs, and upstairs we have a new executive suite upstairs. You know, people like to come to the ballpark to entertain, and we've set things up for that.
Lucroy flies to right. That's the first out of the inning.
I saw the Brewers tree truck this year to go dispense ice cream to kids, and I had more than my fair share of ice cream last night in an event here.
I'm all in on the tree truck.
Yeah. Palermo's Pizza, the official frozen pizza of the Brewers, and vanilla ice cream for me, the two killers. Debbie is very disciplined. She does not fall for the ice cream tree truck.
But she's okay with you, right? That's why you got to sneak off on your own.
I have to kind of, when she was downstairs in the store last night, I was grabbing some ice cream.
Mark Atanasio joining us here, the Brewers owner, as we move through the bottom of the third. The Brewers scoring some runs off Madison Bumgarner. 3 on the board. And our score 4-3 is Chris Carter is at the plate. And back to the baseball story, though, Mark, one of the, well, really the only free agent you guys pursued heavily was Chris Carter, and the payroll is significantly down from last year, but your thoughts on that are more just the personnel that the Brewers have as opposed to maybe a plan to try to push the payroll to a certain number or some parameters that you've set.
Yeah, David Stearns did a good job in the media briefing today describing how where we are as a team dictated the payroll rather than coming up with some number. There were a couple other free agents we looked at and I'd say dabbled in. I wouldn't say pursued aggressively, but you know, it was really more of a comprehensive plan. So Aaron Hill was in the on-deck circle here. We picked up a chunk of his money in order to get at one of their other younger prospects, and a Chase Anderson who'll be pitching, you know, this week. So, you know, it's really more player focused and what falls out of what they're doing in terms of years of control and whatnot. You know, Chris Carter we could control for 3 more years, or this year plus 2 years. So that's kind of what goes on there. And then the number is what it is. You will see the payroll number going up over the years as we bring a bunch of these young players together and then keep them together, and even looking out to like 2020.
Yeah, Mark, Craig Counsell has said he's not putting any limits on this ball club. What are your expectations of this team this year?
Well, the expectations this year are so far being borne out in the first innings of this game. I really expect us to play good, exciting baseball. You know, whether that translates into a win or not, you know, we're playing a team here that has 3 World Championships. We have World Series MVP Madison Bumgarner, and we've got a real game, and that's what I expect to see out of the team this year. We're exactly what we're seeing today.
Talk to us a little bit about David Stearns. He and Matt Arnold, they are also in celebration mode, I would imagine. This is their first opening day as general manager and assistant general manager, and quite a milestone for those 2 individuals as well to now run an organization. And can you just talk to us about the process with David Stearns, and then as it's moved all the way through the offseason, through spring training to now. What have you seen from the 31-year-old general manager?
Well, David himself said earlier today that it's all going to probably sink in after this. It's a bit of a blur opening day. I remember my first opening day as an owner was a blur.
They told a second is going to cut down Carter.
And if you describe Chris Carter's running style, a blur would not be how you describe it.
Good one. Good one, boss.
But we're going to have, listen, we're going to have a few of those things this year. Craig was telling me before, and I'm not sure Craig would want him to try to take that base, but Craig was saying that this year, also as an organization, we can try being more aggressive, try doing things and see what works, doesn't work. Push players to test their limits, and probably saw Chris's base running limit there. But David, you know, what's great about David is back to when we interviewed him, he was really poised, and you know, his demeanor and his poise and his approach, he's actually the same guy today, you know, that he was back 6 months ago when we interviewed him. He is very comfortable, surprisingly comfortable in this role, and frankly, you know, what do they say in the big leagues? Act like you've been there.
Right.
You know, from the day he stepped into his position, he acted like he'd been there, and he's developed a lot of confidence up and down the organization. And you know, I've talked a lot about energy, but he's brought a lot of energy and enthusiasm, not only to our baseball ops, but even within business ops. I mentioned we have record number of sponsorships this year. And
as Aaron Hill takes a called strike two, that takes us
on cue
to the end of the inning. Mark, great job. Thanks a lot. We always love seeing you, especially on opening day. You and your family, a true family ownership, and as popular as ever. And we look forward to great things this year.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Brock.
Thank you.
Have some fun this year.
At Miller Park on opening day here in Milwaukee, 4-3 Giants. And if you weren't able to get to the ballpark on opening day today, you can still make it out for the opening series as the Brewers continue their showdown with the Giants tomorrow night and Wednesday afternoon. Great seats are still available at brewers.com/tickets.
Oh, they come in uniform today. Their own version of the sausage races right there. Good way to get yourself on camera as Brandon Crawford leads off for the Giants. 4-3 San Francisco. Been a lot of offense early in this game. Willie Peralta has surrendered back-to-back 2-run innings. I said 2 walks and 2 hits last inning. That is actually 1 walk and 3 hits last inning for the Giants. Still knocking the rust off myself. I wrote it down wrong.
Yeah, I get you. You got a lot going on. I mean, opening day. I mean, everybody gets a mulligan on opening day.
Oh, good, good. We need him. Good visit with Mark Atanasio. It's Crawford into the shift. And right there is Aaron Hill, who's over on that side from third base. Crawford is retired.
I think the organization, Mark included, Debbie Atanasio, and everybody's understanding of what the Brewers are attempting to do going forward. And they just want some good baseball to be played, disciplined baseball, and Craig Counsell certainly was able to establish that in spring training. It's going to be a fun season. It really is. You're going to see some young players that are going to be giving it their all, and a lot of talent down in the minor leagues. We were talking about, you know, today 9 players traded from last year's team, and they got 16 young players that I think they're going to be pretty good ones down the road.
Well, and I think Mark Atanasio has proven, and there's no reason to expect that he would change this, but when it's time to spend money, he's never been afraid to do that. Push the payroll up over $100 million if he needs to. Right now, the Brewers have the smallest, the lowest payroll in baseball. Brewers come in with a payroll about $60 million. As Bumgarner pops it foul and out of play. That compares to the Giants payroll at $171 million. But I think that, you know, the day of just matching player for player, payroll for payroll in each of those positions, we're kind of moving into a different era of Major League Baseball. And I think there are teams who can function at a much lower payroll, like a team like the Kansas City Royals. But as you've noticed, the Kansas City Royals, as those players get into a position where they're starting to make more money, then you have to decide who to keep and how they're going to do it. And they signed Alex Gordon, and they signed Salvador Perez as well. So I feel like, in talking to Mark, that's all laid out for him when the time comes to do that.
Made a commitment to winning. That's certainly something that Mark has been consistent with. And not a good start to this inning with a walk, or I should say with one out, a walk to the pitcher, Bumgarner. You know, those guys from Kansas City are going to be coming of age around the same time.
Right.
So there's going to be decisions to be made with the Royals down the road.
And right now, the Royals, the Astros, the Cubs, those are the model organizations, how to strip it down, acquire prospects, and then build it quickly. And I think the Brewers are going to, that's why there's so much hope around Miller Park in Milwaukee, that there is a stockpile of prospects. The Brewers essentially have just revitalized their minor league system. And it really started with Doug Melvin in the trades last year when he was still running the club as the general manager, bringing in guys like Domingo Santana. And they've gone from a minor league system that was thought as maybe bottom third or maybe even bottom 10 in the major leagues, inside the top 10, and some have it as high as even 5th best minor league system. So.
And that's where those other two teams did it. You know, you talk about Kansas City and Houston, right? Cubs to a certain extent.
Cubs turned it quickly. Astros arrived maybe a year earlier than they thought. And that's why you will not hear timetables set from David Stearns and Mark Atanasio, even Craig Counsell. And at the same time, I think at least Counsell's message, just being around them all spring, is we don't have any expectations to be at the bottom of the division. We expect to win and play the right way every day, every inning. Get focused on the process and the details, and then wherever it ends up, it ends up.
And then you talk to these players, they have a lot of confidence, you know, going into this season. And they feel as though they're going to win some games and be competitive for sure.
Pagan rolls over one. Counter Baines at 1-2. Brewers have activity in their bullpen. One of the newest Brewers, Carlos Torres, who was just signed a couple of days ago after spending his spring training with the Atlanta Braves, the former Met. Brewers have been beat up in their bullpen toward the end of the exhibition season.
Yeah, two big losses, Corey Knebel and Will Smith. Talked to Will Smith today. He's very encouraged. I mean, he's feeling pretty good. It's going to be a process, the rehab, but he says that knee's feeling pretty good. He was out there walking without any issues today.
The bearded bullpen of the Milwaukee Brewers. That includes Chris Capuano and his return to Milwaukee. Pagan hammers one, left center field. That's down. That's going to go to the wall. And with Bumgarner running, Brewers chase it back to the infield. No run allowed yet, but 2 on for San Francisco as Pagan, with a terrific battle at the plate, ends up with a double.
Yep, on a 2-2 pitch. That pitch a little bit too much of the plate. Lucroy setting up on the outside corner. And Pagan able to hammer it out there into the gap in left center. So with 1 out, the pitcher walks. Pagan with a double. And now the top of the Giants order coming up. You just can't make these kind of mistakes walking the pitcher. You know, errors, walks, and the Giants are going to jump on you.
Pitch count soaring right now. 72 pitches already. We're only in the 4th. And a big inning, big moment for Peralta. Top of the order coming up. Denard Span batting for the 3rd time today already, after an RBI single last inning.
Yeah, Span rolled one into center field after it looked as though he was struck out on a pitch inside. And some sweet cleats.
And the very unusual hitting stance, at least to start.
Look at that foot, that front foot pointing straight back.
There's a strike. He cuts through it, unable to check it. 0-2 the count.
No, he does that. That's his way of reminding himself or helping himself to stay close with that front shoulder. He starts that way, but you know, before the pitch is on its way to home plate, he moves it, kind of lifts it up.
Seems uncomfortable. If you just took an image of that, you feel like you have to send the paramedics out, because a foot's not supposed to necessarily go that way.
And I think I'd be a little bit off balance too. What do you think?
He's been dealing with a lot of injuries. Last year was a tough year for him. Only played in 61 games with the Nationals. He had hip problems and back problems. That one's into center field, pretty well hit. They're going to be deep enough to score a run here as Broxton makes a catch. Throw goes to third. And Bumgarner scores. Span, very productive day today from the leadoff spot. Drives in his second run. Giants lead 5-3.
Well, 2 walks for Willie. They both have come around to score. Brewers have committed an error, and that run scored. And Giants don't make too many mistakes. They're very good at understanding what the at-bat calls for and able to execute. A certain Hall of Fame manager, Bruce Bochy.
No question. Let go by the Padres after 12 years and 3 World Series titles with the San Francisco Giants. One of the most respected managers and respected men in the game, Bruce Bochy, former big league catcher.
And respected by his players to a man.
Joe Panik with a runner at second. Peralta just trying to fight his way through this 4th inning. Giants have scored in each of the last 3 innings.
Probably going to be Willie's last inning. He's due up second in the bottom of this inning.
First inning was clean, 3 up and 3 down, and a terrific play by Aaron Hill. But he has labored through the last 3 innings. Anytime that pitch count gets up over 20 in an inning, you're working hard, too hard. 2-1 to Panik. Nice block by Lucroy. Tried to change up that time.
Yeah, just can't get the feel for that pitch. Be a nice pitch. He was able to, you know, get a feel for it and throw it, you know, in situations where he's in a fastball count like 2-1.
Peralta has struggled against the lefties today. Left-handed hitters have 4 hits and driven in 3 runs at this point. That's in there for a strike. Full count to Panik. Got the dangerous Posey on deck. Panik pulls it foul. First 2 years in the big leagues for Joe Panik. He's hit .305 and .312.
Pretty good table setter, isn't he?
It's an impressive find out of the Giants system. He and Matt Duffy, their third baseman, and Crawford's a homegrown product.
He'll take a walk.
Right to Carter. He'll take it himself, and the side is retired, but the Giants add 1 to it. 5-3 San Francisco. Opening day in Milwaukee. Brewers are coming up, bottom of the 4th. Today, opening day across Major League Baseball. 5-3 Giants. And a reminder, this week only, T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment of America's fastest-growing LTV network. Scooter Gennett will lead off. Hit a long home run his first time up. His first career home run against a left-handed pitcher in the big leagues. And Jeanette leading off this fourth, to be followed by the pitcher spot. And then Keon Broxton. Second inning, Rock. Jeanette didn't disappoint.
This is on a 1-2 pitch from Bumgardner. It was supposed to be away. Posey set up away. Bumgardner missed, and Scooter Jeanette did not. That's a big fly right there, halfway up the bleachers in second deck.
No balls, 2 strikes on Jeanette. Bumgardner, not his dominant self, had a choppy spring training. And if you weren't with us at the start of the game, the Giants reported that Bumgardner is experiencing some flu-like symptoms today.
I would imagine Bruce Bochy would like to see him get through 5 innings and then get to his bullpen. Minimize his workload today.
Bumgardner's next start will be against the Dodgers, and he'll have Clayton Kershaw as an opponent, as Jeanette takes off the plate. Wow, good battle. So Jeanette was down 0-2, and now 3-2.
Tough one to take. That was close.
The payoff pitch. What an at-bat for Jeanette.
Very nice.
Well, those are the kind of at-bats that'll keep you in the lineup every day right there.
Yep. I mean, patience with 2 strikes. That's a difficult thing to do. I mean, everybody can be, or a lot of guys can be patient until they have 2 strikes. Then panic sets in.
Interesting here. Willie Peralta was shaking hands between innings, and the bullpen continues to be active, but Peralta will hit here in the 4th.
Drop down a bunt.
So not wanting to burn a position player this early in the game, perhaps Craig Counsell will have Peralta do that.
Probably would have seen Colin Walsh up there had Jeanette not gotten on.
Ball and a strike on Peralta. He was a strikeout victim his first and only at bat of the game. That was after the Jeanette homer. Pitcher batting 8th in Counsell's first opening day lineup. I'm sure that lineup card will go into a safe spot for Craig Counsell. So it will be one that he'll have as a keepsake. He bunts another one foul, so now 1-2. Willie's got his wife and son in the ballpark today. His first opening day start. Surrendering 5 runs on 6 hits. And that one's in the air. And is it on the ground? It is. And now Belt throws it away. That was almost a double play.
Yeah, it would have been an easy double play had Belt got it anywhere close to first base.
Tough read for Jeanette as well, not knowing if the ball was on the ground or not.
Had it caught in no man's land. Once it was caught, had to get back, and Brandon Belt just threw it away. So a break for the Brewers. Just barely able to grab it before it hits the ground, and there's Buster Posey telling him to throw it, and not even close. See Posey get down. Watch Posey throw it to first. I'm going to get out of the way.
He's pointing and ducking. The man who feels the game as well as anyone. So the first out. Here's Keon Broxton now, batting 9th. Probably in the day of Peralta. Carlos Torres continues to throw in the Brewers bullpen.
Yeah, Brewers have 5 guys on their bench. Just didn't want to burn one this early in the game to drop down a bunt. Willie not able to execute.
Broxton, center field, hit pretty well. Denard Span at the track. And Jeanette's going to tag. And Jeanette into second base.
Yeah, you can run on Span's arm. He doesn't have much of a throwing arm out there, but that's a little bit too close. Yeah, you get used to being in Arizona. You see a ball hit like that, you figure it's a home run.
Right, that's right.
Even here at Miller Park, I mean, a lot of these baseballs have stayed in the ballpark.
Yeah, and even though the roof is closed and the temperature inside Miller Park is in the upper 60s, I would imagine, it's still the atmosphere where the ball's not traveling like it will when it gets all heated up here in the summer. And that one went to die in center field. Here's Santana. Santana in the left, a base hit. And they're going to try to score him. Here comes Jeanette. The throw is up the line, the slide, and he is out. So Jeanette cut down at the plate. Craig Counsell wants to take a look at this one. Pagan moving from center field to left field this year. Ed Cedar taking a risk.
Well, with 2 outs, you know, you don't expect to get another base hit, but it looks out to me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even close. I think Craig Counsell may be looking at a couple things. Was Posey blocking off the plate, which he did not. And Counsell happy with the outcome.
Outfield assist for Pagan ends the inning.
Park, the Brewers trailing the Giants 5-3 as we head to the 5th. And in our Crew in the Community today, the Brewers are asking students from across greater Milwaukee to create a commercial with a positive message designed to help strike out bullying. The winning entry will receive a grand prize, which includes a visit from Brewers players, as well as tickets, Brewers apparel, and transportation to a game at Miller Park. The contest will run until April 25th. So to submit an entry, get more information, you can visit brewers.com/beyondthediamond. And BA and Rock, we're always happy to support our friends at Brewers Community Foundation, Cecilia Gore and Katina Shaw, all the great work they do throughout the season.
Yeah, they do terrific work. And they get the players engaged, and always fun to be around them as well. Carlos Torres will make his Brewers debut. And so interesting the way professional baseball works, Major League Baseball, and here's a guy who has not thrown a pitch in a Brewers uniform until today, opening day.
Yeah, spent time with the White Sox, the Rockies, and 3 years with the Mets. 59 appearances last year with the New York Mets. A .468 earned run average. The Brewers feeling as though he's going to be a good addition to the bullpen. He can give you multiple innings. And another veteran down in that bullpen. You can't have enough of those guys.
Spring training with the Braves this year. Torres was let go by Atlanta. And when Corey Knebel went down with an oblique injury, the Brewers had to quickly fill a hole. And Torres was available. David Stern said they were on Torres this offseason. It was the guy they did a lot of homework on, and there was some talk that they would sign him. He ended up signing with the Braves, so they knew enough about him to make it an easy transaction, and Torres wanted to pitch in Milwaukee, so here he is facing Buster Posey and a line drive out to start the 5th inning.
Yeah, 2014 was a real good year for Carlos Torres. 73 appearances and a 3.06 earned run average, an 8-6 record. He didn't make a start. Had a couple of saves, a little bit of a down year last year.
The day is over for Willie Peralta. 4 innings, gives up 5 runs, 4 earned.
The difference in the game, the 2 bottom of the order walks, one to Madison Bumgarner, one to Pagan, both coming around to score. As good as the top of this order is, or at least the first 8, you got to be able to control the bottom of the order. That's with any lineup, but particularly this one.
There was an error in that mix as well that led to a run. Pence reached on an error back in the 2nd inning, and a wild swing. 1-2 the count. The extremely unorthodox Hunter Pence.
Even the way he dresses, right?
pant legs above the knees.
They're shorts.
More like knickers. Ooh, good pitch, just missed. Pence struck out on a slider down and away last time. As only Pence can do it. In constant motion. You see that the brace he's wearing on his left wrist. Got hit this spring on that wrist. Rolls over one to VR. 2 outs for Torres. Rock, our first carsoup.com trivia question of the year. I know you've been studying up all winter long. Who was the first U.S. president to throw a ceremonial first pitch on opening day?
Nice.
Of all time, we're talking, not just Miller Park.
Right,
we're talking all time. Good question. Thanks to Car Soup.
Do you know it?
I do know it. We'll give him a half inning to
Chew on it a little bit.
Do people really chew on it, or do they just go straight to Google?
Mull it over. You know, just maybe think about it for a couple of seconds and then Google it like I'm going to do.
Already in there.
Nah, I want to be surprised.
No balls, 2 strikes to Brandon Belt. He's done some damage today. Had a double in the second. Hit one over the head of Santana. And then he singled in a run, a little flare into left field in the 3rd inning. Left-handed batters went 4 for 10 with 3 RBIs against Willie Peralta today. That is the separator for Peralta, if he has success against lefties or not. "33-year-old Carlos Torres spent the last 3 years with the Mets. And not operating in a headliner's role in the bullpen, but a valuable role nonetheless. A guy that can come in games like this, come in early, give you a few innings. A strike thrower.
And Brewers have a couple of guys that can give you multiple innings. Capuano, the only left-hander, not so sure that they want to do that with Cappy. Maybe save him for late in the game. And Brewers have a lead. You got Thornburg can give you a couple innings. Blazek, Ariel Pena. Always important this time of year. Month of April, pitchers aren't necessarily stretched out.
Well, the Brewers bullpen was operating along as maybe a little stealthy secret bullpen that was going to have success with a lot of velocity, but then Smith is injured. Corey Knebel goes down with the oblique. Zach Jones, a Rule 5 guy that they like a lot, and a hard thrower.
And Nolan had a chance to make the ball club, a left-hander.
Yeah, Nolan, left-hander from the Oakland A's.
Yeah. Zach Jones only pitched once in spring training. And going into spring training, Barrios had a very good shot at making the club.
A lot to deal with early in the season. Torres now falling behind Matt Duffy after walking Brandon Belt. He's a pro. He's been around. He's seen this game from a lot of different angles. Not just Major League Baseball, but all the places he's been. This has got to be one of the more unusual experiences for him, though. He just met his teammates. There was no formal workout yesterday. So he's just arrived to the ball club, signed. And his first day on the job, he's in the game on opening day in front of a packed house.
Yeah, back in the big leagues, it's all that matters.
2 balls and a strike. Duffy, high fly ball to left. That is way back. And Braun will watch it go. 2-run home run for Matt Duffy. And the Giants are up 7-3.
Yep, and there's that walk again. Walk extending the inning, and Duffy able to deposit that one into the stands out in left field. Every inning the Giants have scored, it's been either a walk or an error that's helped. There's that cut fastball that didn't do much. Stayed right down the middle of the plate, and Duffy hammers it out of here. Ball carrying pretty well out there in left field.
So the Giants keep the attack going here at Miller Park. They've scored in each of the last 4 innings, and now Brandon Crawford beats the shift. Drives one through the infield. And a 2-out hit for Crawford, his first hit of the day. Here's Madison Bumgarner now. Bumgarner has not been his normal dominant self on the mound, but he was able to get himself out of a big jam in the first inning, inducing a double play ball from Aaron Hill with the bases loaded and 1 out. That ended the inning. Bumgarner walked 3 in that inning. You rarely see that.
Yeah, it's only the 3rd time in his career he's had 3 walks in an inning. I'm amazed it's been 3 times. The kind of control that he has.
Hit hard, but right at Hill. He'll go the easy way to end the inning. But the Giants strike again. Matt Duffy, a 2-run homer, and it's 7-3 San Francisco. Watch the games on TV. You can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Brewers wherever you go. It's a great tool. Great way to follow the crew all year long, wherever you are. Madison Bumgarner back on the mound, and his Giants are giving him a ton of support offensively here today. Giants lead 7-3, bottom of the 5th inning. Jonathan Villar, who has homered off of Bumgarner, will lead off. Villar has walked, and a solo home run to left. Good way to welcome yourself to a new organization. Coming from the Houston Astros, Villar went down and got one.
Yes, he did, out over the plate and knocked it out of here to left. Switch hitter, Villar, who's started out really hot in spring training, cooled off a little bit. If he can pick it over there at shortstop, the Brewers are blessed with some very good middle infielders.
And a little pop-up. That's going to drift in to the seats on a bounce. Over there in Sophia territory. She's probably got a face full of warning track on that one.
Sophia and Woody over there. There they are.
I wonder whose potato chips those are, Sophia.
No, Woody told me in spring training he was going to have to wear a helmet this year.
Yes, that has been amended.
That's been amended, apparently.
When you got that information, that was the latest information, and that was correct.
And then I asked Sophia right away, "You going to have to wear a helmet?"
She said no. There's Keith Wood.
I would imagine Sophia wouldn't mind wearing a helmet down there, would she?
I think she'd pull it off well, like she does everything else. Any helmets down there you could bling up, Sophia?
Well, we did ask Joe Crawford before the game because he asked the same question. He said, why aren't you guys wearing the helmets? And he couldn't come up with any for us. So maybe tomorrow for game 2, we'll save that look.
I guess they wouldn't prevent you from wearing a helmet.
Safety first.
Right. 3-2 pitch, and VR is down on strikes. So out number 1, Baumgartner picks up his 4th. That'll bring up Ryan Braun. Well, last year Ryan Braun hit 25 to lead the Powerball home run leaderboard. Those players who finished the season with the Brewers. And Braun taking over as the franchise leader in home runs, surpassing Robin Yount. That was a memorable evening here in Milwaukee.
And no telling how many Ryan Braun's going to end up with should he be able to stay healthy. He's got a few years left on his current contract.
Well, this was the moment, and it came against a former Brewer, Chris Narveson. 3rd week of August, opposite field home run, and surpassing Robin Yount on the all-time home run leaderboard. And even Ryan Braun mentioned, first of all, Robin Yount playing over at County Stadium, and the kind of weather that he had to deal with at County Stadium.
Yeah, the cold weather and the winds that always came off the lake, particularly in day games, and tougher to hit 30, 40 home runs back in those days.
But a great honor, and if Ryan Braun stays healthy, he'll certainly get into the 300s, maybe even the 400s before it's all said and done. All depends on how his body holds up as he enters the 30s.
Yeah, the thumb thing didn't give him too much of a problem last year. There was a stretch where he had to get that shot again, but pretty much was able to get through the season without any real problems with the thumb. But there was the back at the end of the season, and that's the thing that I think the Brewers are most concerned about.
And Braun strikes out, so Baumgartner dialing in a little bit here. Back-to-back Ks, 5 punch outs as he works with 2 outs in the 5th. And you have to think, with 94 pitches at this point, this is going to be the last inning for Baumgartner.
Yeah, well, you would think, especially since he's battling some flu symptoms. First 2 innings were a big problem for him. He's been able to manage his pitch count a little bit better as the game's going on.
Well, the Brewers had him on the ropes in the first. Bullpen activity. Lucroy takes a strike. There were 3 games yesterday to get the season started, and a whole slew of games today scheduled. There are already a number of postponements today. The Yankees and the Astros postponed, and Boston at Cleveland will have to wait for another day. Our game here, the first to get started.
Well, when the weather is a little bit iffy in the Midwest and back on the East Coast, that's why you have an off day after your home opener. Brewers have that in St. Louis when the team goes to St. Louis after this homestand.
Yeah, the Brewers will play the Cardinals Monday. That'll be the St. Louis home opener. Off Tuesday.
Just in case of bad weather.
With the Wisconsin Sports Awards on Tuesday night. Slots in perfectly, so let's hope for some sunshine and some good weather Monday. And they'll resume the series in St. Louis Wednesday and then Thursday afternoon. First road trip will be St. Louis and Pittsburgh for the Brew Crew.
And Minnesota.
And Minnesota. early matchup with the Twins.
Speaking of bad weather.
Twins are actually in a rain delay in Baltimore right now. We don't have that problem here.
No, we don't.
It's the most functional ballpark in America.
How was the tailgating scene when you came in today?
It was great. Yeah, I walked through, hit most of the lots.
Did you?
Said hello to some folks. I didn't see you out there this year.
No, I was called upon by the organization to get here at about 8 o'clock, do some television interviews.
Yep.
A little preview of the season.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you're in the Brewers Wall of Honor, you have to do things like that. There's a swing and a miss. Lucroy strikes out, and Posey will put the tag on him to secure it. Baumgartner finishes with a bang. If in fact he's done, he strikes out the side in the fifth. 7-3 Giants.
Giveaway lineup with a vintage Brewer bobblehead. As the fans at Miller Park for this Sunday's matchup with the Astros will get an old-fashioned bobble featuring the crew's 1980s uniforms, courtesy of Chevrolet. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
The epic tailgating scene outside Miller Park.
And one of those vintage Brewer bobbles have been staring at me the entire game.
He'll fish at you, no doubt. Chris Capuano is back in a Brewers uniform. Made the team. Quite a success story here after not one but two Tommy John surgeries. And Capuano, returning to Milwaukee, was once an 18-game winner here for the Brewers.
Yeah, the numbers that you see up there with the Yankees last year, 0-4, and then earned run average a little high for Cappy. Yeah, Cappy was a Brewer back in the early to mid 80s, or I should say 2000s. 2005, Capuano was 18-12 with a .399 earned run average.
And last year with the Brewers was 2010. After the long road back from a Tommy John surgery. Actually an all-star in 06 for Milwaukee. That was the year after his 18-win season when he was a starter. And since he departed Milwaukee after the 2010 season, stops with the Mets, the Dodgers, most recently with the Yankees the last 2 years. He is a survivor. What a story. 37 years of age, a couple of surgeries, keeps himself in superb condition, and he's been able to carve out a very nice career, however long he can keep it going.
Yes, he has, and he's the only Brewers left-hander down in that bullpen.
Switch hitter Pagan, who doubled as a left-handed batter his last time up.
A non-roster invite to spring training.
Got him. Gave him a hook, and Pagan is down on strikes.
Very good command and a very strong arsenal of off-speed pitches. And you see Capuano with a slider, the backdoor variety, catching the outside corner. Pagan caught looking. He's got a terrific changeup. He's got two changeups. One that goes in on a right-handed batter, and another one that goes away from a right-handed hitter. He can manipulate that changeup and make it move any way he wants. He's got to keep it down, though. Keep the baseball down. There's a good slider.
Back in the old days, they had really creative names for those pitches. The upshoot, the fadeaway,
in-shoot, out-shoot,
the rise ball. We should bring that back. There's a rise ball there that misses. The speed ball.
Typically, you want your rise ball a little harder than 88, though.
That's true. Gravity tends to take over at 88.
You want the ball down when it's at 88.
Ball and a strike on Span, and Capuano misses. Capuano can start for you if you need him to. He's filled that role over the last few years. He's typically making teams now as a reliever, and then he'll get that occasional spot start. Span waves out for one, pop up into shallow left. That's Braun who calls. And Capuano has retired the first two. He's fully bearded now. He used to be the clean shaven, had the great setup. Chris Capuano, the stylish lefty from Duke. And he put together some terrific years for the Brewers, and his best year to date, still that 2005 season.
Yep, handles the bat pretty well back in the old days. Not so sure how many at-bats he's going to get these days, but that was a terrific year for him. An 18-game winner.
Well, Mike Caldwell still has the franchise mark for wins in a season. The 22-win season in '78. Teddy Higuera and Jim Colburn won 20. And then there's Capuano, and then it was Willie Peralta a couple of seasons ago that was pushing that Capuano mark. He ended up with 17. He is a great teammate by all accounts. The kind of guy that Craig Counsell wants in his bullpen, mentoring and talking over the game, especially matchups with hitters, with all these young pitchers.
91 miles an hour for Capuano.
One ball, two strikes. Joe Panik, who is 0 for 3 today, and make it 0 for 4 as Jeanette will take care of it. Capuano with a 3-up, 3-down inning. Looks like something there got him on the neck, bothered him a little bit. We'll keep an eye on it. Miller Park, Milwaukee. And Madison Bumgarner is done for the day. Rock, interesting just watching Chris Capuano. It looked like something got him in the back of the head, the neck. After this pitch, he reached back, and then when he went into the dugout between innings, you could tell something just wasn't quite right.
Maybe something grabbed him a little bit. Maybe something in the neck. Well, Cappy's 37. You know, that kind of stuff happens. Yeah, hope he's going to be all right.
All eyes on him as he walks off. He did walk back into the clubhouse, so uncertain whether he is coming back for a second inning. Well, it was a good start for him. 3-up, 3-down inning. George Contos will be the first man out of the bullpen for Bruce Bochy today.
Yeah, very strong bullpen for the Giants. Contos, hard thrower, right-hander. Yeah, good mix out in that bullpen for San Francisco. They don't have Jeremy Affel. That's going to be a big loss for the Giants. He was always one of their stalwarts out in the pen. Back end of the Giants bullpen as good as it gets.
Chris Carter in his Brewers debut today. Big power hitter. He walked with the bases loaded in the first inning, drove in a run. And then he walked in the third. Both of those walks came against Bumgarner. And Carter sends one sky high. Denard Span will call it. And there is out number 1. Brewers had a promising start, trying to get it going a little bit offensively. A lot of traffic on the bases the first 3 innings. They scored in each of the first 3 innings. Got home runs from Jeanette and VR.
I had a man thrown out at home plate in the 4th inning to end the 4th. And then it was a 3-up, 3-down with 3 strikeouts for Bumgarner in the 5th.
Aaron Hill takes a strike. The veterans that the Brewers do have by design are all high character people. And players who have been around and have earned a reputation as mentors and players that will work with younger players and do what they can to help. And Hill certainly fits that bill. He was involved in that trade. The Brewers traded away their starting shortstop, Gene Segura, traded to the Diamondbacks, and in return the Brewers get Hill, who's their starting third baseman. They get one of their 5 starters, Chase Anderson, and then a young shortstop prospect named Isan Diaz, who's down in the lower levels of the minor leagues, as Hill into right center, a base hit. His first hit as a Brewer, a single.
Yeah, got one of those 2-seam sinking fastballs up in the zone, and Aaron Hill, his first 2 times up, he came up with men in scoring position, not able to cash in, but able to get the first hit of the season. A good piece of hitting, just out of the reach of panic at second. That's what Aaron Hill will do for you. Hit it where it's pitched.
And now Scooter Gennett. Gennett back up the middle, a base hit. Here come the Brewers. Scooter's having quite the opening day at the plate.
Staying right on that baseball, isn't he? And not pulling off. You know, good quick hands to the baseball, and he's seeing it really well right now. He started in spring training, has continued, another 2-seamer up. That's what you call centering on a fastball. Good pitch to hit, and took advantage of it.
Jumped on the first pitch this time. He had a long battle with Baumgartner his last time up, ended up drawing a walk. So 2 on. Gennett with his second hit, and now a pinch hitter off Council's bench, Kurt Neuenhuis, another former Met, part of that World Series team last year. Neuenhuis making his Brewers debut.
A guy that's going to see a lot of activity out in center field, you would think, against right-handed pitching.
Neuenhuis and Keon Broxton will be splitting time to start. 2 on, 1 out. Brewers down 4. Kurt Neuenhuis didn't get a start in the World Series last year, but he did get a couple of at-bats, played in a couple of games. Mets losing to the Royals in the World Series. Great experience and a great ride for Neuenhuis. Had a big swing at it.
Yeah, really the only veteran on the Brewers bench, you know, against left-handed pitching. Neuenhuis, Ramon Flores, youngster, Colin Walsh, got Martin Maldonado and Yadiel Rivera. Not a lot of experience on the bench, except for Neuenhuis.
Now Neuenhuis the lefty, Broxton the right-hander in that center field platoon. There's a strike. 2-2. Neuenhuis is not known as a home run hitter, but he had a great home run day last year. July 12th of 2015, hit 3 home runs in a game against the Diamondbacks, and he did it at Citi Field. First time ever there had been 3 home runs in a game by a Met at Citi Field. That ballpark opened in '09. And that's in there. Backdoor breaking ball. Neuenhuis down on strikes. Out number 2.
Yeah, a couple of breaking balls back to back. He doubled up on the slider. And Neuenhuis, yeah, looking for the fastball. Here it is again. And you see the rotation and getting plenty of home plate. Buster Posey framing it there nicely for Brian Gorman. Outer half.
So Contos with 2 on, 2 out, and another Brewer debut coming. We go from a New York Met to a former New York Yankee. Ramon Flores. acquired by the Brewers via trade with the Mariners. Traded from the Yankees to the Mariners last year.
Pretty good hitter. I mean, he showed pretty good plate discipline down in the spring training. And Flores hit 288. You'll see him in the outfield, and he's going to be able to play some first.
2 on, 2 out. Brewers trying to take advantage of an opportunity here in the 6th. And another one. Boy, he is dialed in on that backdoor breaking ball.
Yeah, it's not the the break of the pitch. It's really fooling the Brewers. It's the speed. Yeah, going up there with Contos on the mound. You're looking for that 2-seamer, low 90s.
Contos relieving Bumgarner. Bumgarner goes 5. 3 earned runs, in line for the win. The Brewers gave up Luis Sardinas to get Flores. Again, trading from a position of strength, the shortstop position, needing an outfielder, a versatile piece. As Rock mentioned, Flores can play all 3 outfield spots, and he can play first base. Spent a lot of time working at first base this spring. Big spot for him. 3-1. Flores got 12 games in the big leagues last year with the Yankees. And in all of his stops, minor leagues and major leagues, he hit a combined .308. He's a good hitter, and that's why he's on the club for spots just like this. Full count, 2 outs. Runners will start with the pitch. And Contos with the inside move to keep him honest. Brewers have 7 hits today. Scored 3 runs, hit 2 homers today. VR and Jeanette have gone deep. Runners will be on the move. There they go. And Flores, a little flare. Long run Duffy, and he's got it to end the inning. So the Brewers strand a pair on 2 hits. Contos has scored a 6th inning. 7-3 San Francisco. We go to the 7th.
7-3 as we head to the 7th inning. We take a look now at our Miller Lite. What's on tap for the rest of the series? Tomorrow's matchup, Jimmy Nelson going up against Johnny Cueto, acquired by the Giants here in the offseason. Jimmy Nelson coming off his first full season, an 11-13 record. And when Craig Counsell addressed the media this morning, he said that there was some question as to whether Matt Garza would be able to make his scheduled start on Wednesday. Garza had left his final exhibition start on Friday with stiffness in his right shoulder. So he said that Garza will be evaluated by team doctor, Dr. William Rosh, this afternoon. There will be news on Garza and his start after the game today, but he said, again, it would be doubtful, and so Taylor Youngman would likely slide over and make Garza start on Wednesday on normal rest.
All right, Sophia, thanks. And there's Taylor Youngman talking to Chase Anderson. Ramon Flores will stay in to play center field. And the Brewers have a new pitcher, Ariel Pena, on an opening day roster for the first time in his career. Pena will get the 7th, 7-3 San Francisco as Buster Posey leads off.
Yeah, it came down to Ariel Pena or Tyler Cravey at the end of spring training, so I guess the Brewers figured they'd rather go with the power pitcher, the power right arm, as opposed to the finesse pitcher in Cravey. Pena made some starts for the Brewers last year and did pretty well.
Made his major league debut in September of last year. Back to the Garza story, however. Garza came out of a game against the Astros in that exhibition series. Just said he felt a little tightness in the shoulder. And that same day, Taylor Youngman pitched back in Arizona in a minor league game. So they are actually lined up on the same day. So that won't be much of a change at all for Taylor Youngman if in fact he does pitch on Wednesday, which is a day game. And the Brewers aren't off to a great start on the injury front.
No,
with their pitchers.
I mean, some key guys, not available on the disabled list at this point. Talked about the two guys in the bullpen, Knebel and Will Smith, making that man's job a little bit more difficult.
The depth already thin, and tapping into what you have in reserves already.
Yeah, but if you're Taylor Youngman, you'd certainly like to know sooner than later if you're going to be pitching on Wednesday or Friday, right? My guess is that decision has been made already.
We're all on a need-to-know basis, and he probably needs to know before we do, as Posey draws the walk. Ariel Pena. He was with the Angels originally. Brewers got him in the deal for Zach Greinke. Pena and Gene Segura and Johnny Helwig were the three players the Brewers got for Greinke that year, 2012.
Yeah, worked strictly out of the bullpen for Colorado Springs last year until the end of the year, where he made 7 starts to get ready for his opportunity in Milwaukee in September. Yep, a 2-1 record in 5 starts, 6 appearances overall for Pena a year ago. He's a strikeout pitcher for sure. I mean, 27 punch outs in 27 and third innings.
Posey at first, Pence at the plate. Pence is 0 for 3. Look out. Up and in.
And one of the reasons why he has that wrist guard, pitches a little bit like that, got out of the way, and that cost him some problems last year.
And a wave and a miss.
Basically fastball slider for Ariel Pena. He was working on a curveball and a changeup last year. That's why the Brewers prefer at this point to work him out of the bullpen. He's got 2 pretty good pitches. Need that third one to be a starter.
On the ground, Hill's got it to second for 1. The turn in time. Double play. The Brewers go around the horn. Aaron Hill has been tight defensively here this afternoon.
Pence hit that one right on the nose, but right at Hill at third. Couple of hops, and once it's in his glove, the Brewers turn an easy double play. Got him by a step.
Got to give Hill a lot of credit moving from second base to third base. He's comfortable all around the infield, but most comfortable where he's actually playing right now. And when they put a shift on, they move Hill across, leave the shortstop VR at his place. Brandon Belt, who is flawless at the plate today. A double, a single, and an RBI, and a walk, and he scored twice. Willie Peralta started for the Brewers. 4 innings, 5 runs, 4 earned. On the hook for the loss. Bumgarner did not have his normal dominant stuff, pitching with what the Giants are calling flu-like symptoms, but he hung in there well. 5 innings and 3 earned runs, and he ended up striking out the side in his last inning to give him 6 punch outs, but 5 walks. Un-Bumgarner like, but he's in line for the win.
Good enough so far, right?
been that kind of spring for him too. Belt in the air, long way to go with the shift on. Braun's coming in, and Pena gets through the inning, survives a leadoff walk. 7th inning stretch on opening day. God bless America. We turn it over to Miller Park Public Address announcer Rob Edwards.
From the Brewers Guest Services.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
The ball flies there, and you know, the fans making it even better. You know, especially when the Cubs in town. You know, it was really packed, and it was really fun playing out there. You know, and the ball flies. Like I said, you know, it's an advantage for us hitters. You know, so it's really good.
Domingo Santana, he is so looking forward to a full season with the Brewers this year. And beginning the season as the leadoff hitter for the Crew. New pitcher is Corey Guerin. As Bruce Bochy runs through his bullpen today, he is following George Contos. Bumgarner went 5. Contos working a scoreless 6th inning, and now Guerin here for the 7th.
Yeah, 6'3", 200 pounds. He spent a little bit of time last year with the Giants. 7 appearances, and most of his career, when he hasn't been injured, has been spent with the Atlanta Braves. Kind of a herky-jerky, high 3/4 arm angle right-hander.
Santana with a couple of hits. Guerin is the modern version of Al Raboski. He's got some of the mad Hungarian in him.
And short arm, and it's going to get some sink on his fastball. Mad Hungarian.
The facial expressions.
He's got a little Mike Fetters, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Mike Fetters.
The Bulldog.
Slings it in. Santana is late, and Brandon Belt is there to make the catch. Nice play by the Giant first baseman. Santana retired, 2 for 4 today.
And we talked about this defense for the Giants. Brendan Belt, one of those guys that very short-handed, knows exactly where he is on the field, and feels for the railing there, and I'm going to haul it in. Woody all right over there?
I think he's okay. At the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. VR, the switch hitter. Jonathan hit a homer in the 3rd inning off of Bumgarner. Has a walk, a home run, and a strikeout. Giants were planning on carrying just 7 relievers to start the year. That was the initial talk. However, they have 23 games in the first 24 days of the season. So they don't have as many off days as is customary. As VR breaks his bat, there's out number 2. And so Bruce Bochy is going to go with 8 relievers, and that opened up a spot for Corey Guerin.
Yep, and that shortens his bench. Only 4 coming off the bench for the Giants right now. That won't last, I would imagine.
Bruce Bochy was a little anxious getting to opening day with to see how Madison Bumgarner was going to come through it. I think they were pretty confident he would be fine. Matt Cain too. Matt Cain is in the rotation. But there were some concerns in the middle of the spring that he might not be. So overall, the Giants hit opening day healthy, unlike the Brew Crew.
Right. Most of the Giants didn't show up into Milwaukee until about 1 a.m. yesterday. Had some airplane issues.
That's right.
From San Francisco.
A 6-hour delay, we were told. Now, the way I understand it, because of the length of the delay, they actually chartered a smaller plane to bring some of the starters, including Madison Bumgarner here.
Starting 9, right?
So those guys didn't have to wait long. Preferred travel. I mean, big leaguers always travel first class.
Right, but that's really first class.
That's like, you know, the separation of the first classers.
That's network guy travel.
Not hardly. I always wondered about a team. Guys don't particularly like being split up from their team.
Right, yeah, that's kind of unusual. Opening day, everybody split up. You're right. That's the thing that Bochy disliked about it the most, the fact that his whole team couldn't get to Milwaukee together. That stuff happens. Just happened on before opening day, right?
Yeah, when a big league team has travel problems, they just pick up the phone and hire a private jet to take as many as they can. The other half. Braun on the ground to third. Duffy, slick fielder, makes a play to end the inning, and Corey Guerin with a nice 1-2-3 inning for the Giants. We go to the 8th, 7-3 San Francisco. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly.
Hey, Forbakan Sheboygan is today's Tower of the Game winner. Opening day, you should be able to get more than 40, right, for opening day? But you're not gonna. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow at 414-902-4572, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Friday night game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin. And Miller Lite, now it has been 24 hours, but it's 8 a.m. So make a note.
Wow, there's a lot of fine print this year on the Tavern of the Game. There's another nice play by Hill, and he retires Matt Duffy, who's been the offensive star for the Giants today. Duffy's driven in 4 runs today, but Hill takes a hit away from him. Hill's had a spectacular game at third base.
See the way he gets down, tries to get those eyes to the level of the bounce and able to handle it nicely. Get up and make the play, and now he's got to run over to play up the middle on the shift. Got to be in pretty good shape to play third base with Craig Counsell. A lot of moving around.
I bet he likes it.
Yeah.
He doesn't got to, he gets to. It's all about perspective. Pena back out there for his second inning as Crawford bats with 1 away. Crawford 1 for 3. He did single his last time up. Great to have you with us. Opening day from Miller Park. Brewers are down 4. Things have not gone the way they had hoped on the mound. Trying to hang in there long enough to get some runs on the board. Short start for Peralta. His first opening day start. 4 innings, 4 earned runs. Carlos Torres, Chris Capuano, and now Pena out of the bullpen. A beat up Brewers bullpen to start the season. But with injury comes opportunity, they say, and we'll find out who can step into a spot in that bullpen.
Well, Pena's certainly one of those guys that benefits from some of the injuries. Carlos Torres. And pretty good fastball is right on the outside corner.
Brandon Crawford's first major league home run was right here at Miller Park. He's got fond memories of this ballpark. It was a grand slam, as a matter of fact, back in 2011.
Buster Posey started his career here.
Yes, he did.
And looked good in doing it.
Crawford's emerged as an elite major league shortstop. He won the Gold Glove last year, and he also won the Silver Slugger Award as he draws a walk. So Crawford is aboard, a man on with one away. Remember our carsoup.com trivia?
Throw out the first pitch.
It's been a while.
President.
Who was the first U.S. president to throw a ceremonial first pitch on opening day? And the answer, William Taft.
He started the 7th inning stretch as well. Same day. It was a big day for William Taft.
A lot of the presidential candidates are in Wisconsin today. The commercials won't end. I vote for Lucroy. He's my write-in vote.
Okay.
That's him.
He might win.
Captain America. There's your next president of the United States.
Been crazy, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Yes, it has.
My phone's ringing off the hook. Every commercial.
Is that why you never answer the phone when I call?
Oh, this time of year, that's exactly
Is that
why.
what it is?
Right.
What's the excuse the other times?
The other 3.5 years, I don't screen my calls. I just don't have my phone with me all the time.
See, now that's not true. You know, you'll send me a text, and within 5 seconds, I'll call you.
It's very much like an assembly line, Rock. If you don't fit right in the spot in the gear, then you're going to lose your turn. It's a base hit by Gregor Blanco, pinch hitting.
It's
And
like the
Giants with 2 on.
Like the landing pattern at the airport.
Right. If you don't find your spot, then you're going to have to wait a while.
I got it.
Kind of a jab and move guy, you know, jab and move. We actually got some fellowship together this offseason.
We spent a lot of time together. I actually was invited to your house.
Yeah, that's a first. Finally just decided the house is destroyed enough where you're not going to do any further damage to it.
Is that what it is?
Rock sustained an injury at my house this offseason.
I did. Hurt the back.
How'd you do that?
I was helping you lugging furniture around your house.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't remember it that way. I feel like you picked up a ping pong ball is how you hurt your back.
Reaching down too quickly for a ping pong ball.
They are heavy
It's
these
kind of
days.
embarrassing to say that. Couldn't you just leave it at, moving furniture?
I did enlist, I got to be honest,
Speaking of presidents,
a couple of broadcasters to
cannot tell a lie.
Help me move furniture. Jeff Levering, who's
Strong.
making his number 2 debut today as Bob Uecker's partner. He actually came over and moved some furniture. What a guy.
Yeah. Strong back young man.
And we congratulate Jeff Levering. They're working with Ueck. Enthralled in a conversation and doing exactly what a Uecker partner should do. Say nothing.
Stand down.
Perfect, Jeff. You're doing a great job. And we welcome Lane Grendel to the broadcast team as well. Lane's back on the back bench. It is his first day in the major leagues. Lane Grendel will be filling in for Bob Uecker on the road. He'll be working with Jeff.
Lane was excited today. Down around the batting cage, kind of feeling his way through.
Happy to have Lane. He's a good guy. He and Jeff both, and they get to work at the left hand of the legend himself, Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker, who is beginning his 46th season on the air with the Brewers. Amazing. And his 61st season in baseball.
Yeah.
There's Lane up top. sitting next to Kent Sommerfeld, who's hard at work engineering the show, texting all of his children.
Finding out what he's having for dinner tonight.
He's an amazing multitasker.
He is.
Kent Sommerfeld.
He's been around a long time.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think he's got 31, right?
Yeah, he's in 31. His 30s, yep.
31 of Euchre's 46 years.
Yep.
That's a great team over there. We enjoy spending time with them. They don't let us in their booth. They're in a no TV policy over there. But we see them every now and then in the hallways. 0-2 pitch. Pagan doesn't bite on this one.
Yeah, Tony Migliaccio, the Brewers clubhouse man. I think he's 35 plus years down there. Talking to Tony today, and another opening day.
Brewers have a bit of a uniform change this year. You notice the pants. If you're an astute uniform person, you notice the Brewers pants don't have the piping anymore. They're just plain white. It's nice. Good look. Clean look.
Yep, they'll be wearing those pants at every home game, except for when they have the ball and glove pants, the pinstripes. Pinstripe uniforms.
Two-two to Pagan. 2 on. Pena needs a ground ball here. In the air, Braun on the run. And with room, he'll make the catch. Out number 2. It's always a thrill to have the Giants in town, and some of our favorites around the Major League circuit. They're broadcasters. The Wisconsin native, Dwayne Kuiper, working with Mike Krukow. Dwayne and his brother Jeff. Jeff's the producer for the Giants. And there's Kuip on the right, and Mike Krukow always with the ball in his hand, the former big league pitcher.
Good guys, real good at what they do.
Talking to Dwayne about this kind of weather, and he goes, yeah, this was what it was like playing high school ball when I was growing up near Racine. Because we get our 5 games a year of high school baseball in and call it a season.
Yeah. You got the oil drum with the fire on deck circle. Right. I did that when growing up in Jersey.
No balls and a strike on Span. Here's a good pitch. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, Dwayne a little upset today at the plane problems that they had cost them a trip home yesterday.
Yeah, they didn't get in till I think about 11 o'clock. You always know when Dwayne Kuiper is in town because there's a whole booth full of Kringles. Racine Kringles. He must know somebody over there. Stacked to the ceiling of Kringles. Brewers can ill afford to allow any more runs. Down 4 as we play in the top of the 8th. Pena working on Denard Span with 2 runners aboard for the Giants. Crawford at second. He walked. Blanco singled the pinch hitter. And a pickoff play. Close. Almost got him.
A nice throw by Ariel Pena. VR able to sneak behind him and almost got him.
They're checking that one. Pat Murphy's looking at the replay to see if they need to challenge here.
Like they got the hand in there, and that was close.
Spin and fire and a strike, but it did look like Crawford got his hand back. Well, the best look here. It looked like he tagged the ground.
Yeah, he tagged him high. That was a nice throw, good catch.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners drift and a foul ball. Of course, we can't talk about the Giants broadcasters without recognizing the Hall of Famer John Miller, working solo today. Dave Fleming is on assignment.
On opening day?
He has, yes, he has a game.
Wow.
Has a national network game today.
Wow.
So John's over there just spinning the yarn. John Miller was reminiscing about an opening day experience he had here in 1980, he said. His first day on the job with the Red Sox. Sixto Lizcano hit a grand slam for the Brewers that day. And Craig Counsell was remembering the same opening day. John Miller was here for that.
Yep.
That he froze at County Stadium that day. And John was reminiscing that Lizcano hit the grand slam to win the game. The next day, the first inning, the Brewers had a grand slam. And then the second inning of the next game, they had a grand slam.
Wow.
3 consecutive innings against Boston that year. The Brewers had grand slams.
Great memory, John Miller. He's one of the best, isn't he?
I never knew that story. Of course, he could have been making the whole thing up. I don't know. Pena misses high.
See, you can't do that anymore. I mean, people look stuff up like instantaneously and they call you out.
And then he started telling a story about Carlton Fisk and how Carlton wasn't playing and he was injured, and then he kind of lost me at that point.
He's a big fan of the bratwurst here.
John is?
Oh, yeah.
I think John's a fan of most of the local cuisine around all of the major league parks. Full count, runners go. Span, deep right field, way back and gone. A home run. And the Giants pouring it on now. 3-run home run for Span with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And it is 10-3 San Francisco.
And went down and got one and knocked it on out of here. Comes Derek Johnson, the Brewers pitching coach. Let's check it out. A nice level swing and ball jumps off his bat. Denard Span, not known as a home run hitter. Span with 5 RBIs today, including this 3-run shot.
What a debut for the Giants. That was some kind of at-bat for Span. He got down 0-2. Span has driven in 5. Matt Duffy has 4 runs batted in. And the Giants are up 10-3 now on their 10th hit.
Yeah, Brandon Belt has the other.
The new pitching coach, Derek Johnson, coming from the Cubs organization. DJ made a name for himself as a college pitching coach at Vanderbilt. A trip he hoped not to have to make today. He's got his work cut out for him this year.
Now the pitchers on this Brewers roster have glowing reports on Derek Johnson, the way he's able to talk a little bit differently about pitching, getting into the mindset as opposed to just mechanics. And he says he thinks out of the box with each and every one of them, not the same message to each one of the pitchers, and kind of gets in their head a little bit in a way that they're not accustomed to, which is always a good thing.
High fly ball right field. That's way back. Joe Panik is going to send one out of here into the Lowe's level. And it is 11-3 San Francisco as Joe Panik gets into the act. A 4-run 8th for the Giants.
Ariel Pena strike away from getting out of this inning with no runs on the board, and now he's given up 4. Denard Span 0-2. Span able to come back in the count, hit a 3-run shot. Now Panik hits one.
And now it's Posey with 2 away. And he launches. That's way back. Buster Posey sends one out. Back-to-back-to-back home runs off Pena. 12-3 San Francisco. Posey's first home run of the year.
And all of them on fastballs. It's that Pena slider that's his bread and butter when he gets ahead in the count. First pitch to Buster Posey. And way back out there in center field.
A baseball got loose. No pitch there. Baseball got loose from the bullpen. Or perhaps somebody threw that baseball back. That was a blast by Posey. That had some heat on it. Span, Panik, and Posey all homer. Turns out to be a record-setting day for Denard Span. 5 RBIs on opening day. Last Giant to do that was Barry Bonds. 2002.
Yeah, a while ago, huh?
April 2nd, 2002. Barry Bonds now the hitting coach with the Marlins. Base hit.
Well, Pena pitch count getting a little bit out of hand at this point now. 43 pitches, and Blaine Boyer getting loose out in that bullpen. And you got to wonder how long Craig's going to stick with Pena at this point.
Had a good 7th inning. Got a double play and a fly out, and I think Council's coming out to make a double switch. Giants are spoiling the parade today on opening day. A 5-run inning with back-to-back-to-back homers. And we'll have a change. Tough day for Pena. We'll take a timeout. We'll set up the new pitcher, set up the changes after this. Scoring 5 runs in this inning and a pitching change here at Miller Park. Hey, a reminder that this week only T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB. Sign up now and catch every moment of America's fastest-growing LTE network. So a day to forget for the Brewers, but for this guy, it's going to be one to remember. His Major League debut. Colin Walsh will enter the game in left field on the double switch. Ryan Braun is out. Blaine Boyer is on the mound.
Yeah, non-roster invite, to spring training. Made the ball club, obviously, and last year with the Twins, pretty good numbers for Boyer. 68 appearances and a .245 earned run average. I tell you, Ariel Pena, how about that? 1 strike away from having 2 shutout innings and ends up hanging a 5 spot on his line today.
Just couldn't shake Denard Span.
No, he couldn't.
Had him 0-2. And since that point, 5 runs are in. Little flare, and that will fall fair. And so that's going to end up as a double for Brandon Belt, who has 3 hits and a walk today as the Giants bat around in this 8th inning.
Boy, we're able to get in on the hands of Brandon Belt, but he's able to tuck one inside that left field line, just barely missing that foul line. And yeah, with the shift, I mean, that's the risk you take. You just can't get the baseballs like that. It'll be a double.
Second and third now. Second double of the day for Belt. Here's Matt Duffy with 4 runs batted in today.
5 straight hits with 2 outs.
Giants haven't hit back-to-back homers, 3 consecutive homers since '06. Barry Bonds was in the middle of that grouping. Duffy with 2 hits, drove in 2 with a single in the second, and then a 2-run home run in the 5th. Finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting last year to Chris Bryant, the overwhelming choice.
Yeah, Cubbies lost yesterday. Cardinals lost yesterday.
Pirates beat the Cardinals yesterday.
Right.
So the Brewers started the day a half game back. Boyer's a nice comeback story in his own right. Brewers have a few reclamation projects down there. Boyer with the Twins last year. He has bounced around. Came up originally with the Braves. Boyer and Capuano, the 2 non-roster invitees to make the team out of spring training. He was excellent in 68 relief appearances with the Twins last year, which is why the Brewers were interested to give him a shot this spring.
Great numbers, and a 249 in 68 appearance. Couldn't find a big league job. He got invited by the Brewers to spring training, made the ball club.
He's 34 this season, his age 34 season. Everything away. 1-2 pitch and a ground ball to Jeanette. And this one is finally over. What an inning for the Giants. They bring 10 batters to the plate, hit 3 consecutive homers, and score 5. It's 12-3.
Obviously, this game not going the way the Brewers wanted to here in the home opener, but we're going to talk Brewers baseball in just a bit and hear from Craig Counsell. We'll get inside the clubhouse as well. But thoughts on opening day, guys? David, let's start with you.
Well, my thought about Willie Peralta was that, his stats doesn't indicate how he pitched. I thought he was just off a little bit, missed some. They got a couple of squibblers. I just thought he pitched better than what the stats show.
How about Madison Bumgarner?
Well, I'll tell you what, they came in, he had the flu-like symptoms, but you got to give him credit. Here's a guy, 2014 World Series MVP, a veteran, started 3 opening days before, went out there and did what he does best, and that's throw strikes. Brewers had opportunities, but couldn't take advantage.
Yeah, Madison Bumgarner battling the flu along the way. Today, guts out 5. Again, Brewers Live postgame on the way. The Giants hitting some flares early and some big home runs late to lead this one 12-3. Brian?
All right, thanks, guys. Good to see all of you out there. All set up well.
They're looking good, aren't they?
I would rather see them out in the parking lot. I feel like Davey and Augie are more in their element out in the parking lot amongst the people.
Right. Last year, remember opening day?
Yeah.
There were 4 of us were on the desk, and
I
had that
remember
really little chair.
I remember that.
The only thing you could see was my shoulders and head.
Is that what it's going to be like this year?
You got to work on that, guys. You got to work on that.
You got to clear out like half the table for Rock. Lucroy at the plate. Bottom of the 8th inning in a 12-3 game. And Hunter Strickland, the hard-throwing Giants reliever in there. Giants have made a number of changes as well, starting to feel a little bit like a spring training game. Gregor Blanco remains in the game to play center field as you check the numbers for Strickland. Big part of their bullpen. Has closer potential at some point. Changes up the middle for the Giants.
Yeah.
They got
another guy that was outstanding out of that Giants bullpen last year. 55 games, a 245 earned run average, a 3-3 record, all out of the pen. Got a good pen, got a good bullpen. Starters much improved going into this season with Johnny Cueto and Jeff Samardzija.
Saw the new shortstop there, Ahire Adrianza. New catcher is Trevor Brown, who will be Posey's backup this season. So take an opportunity to get everybody in, and Council does the same. Especially in a National League setting, you want to try to get everybody on the field as fast as you can if you're a manager. Lucroy in the right center, a base hit. First hit for Jonathan Lucroy in his second time on base.
And doing what he does best. I mean, taking that pitch to the opposite field. And when he pulls the ball, that's not normally his game. I mean, he a little bit rolls over once in a while. There's that slider, and it's not a bad pitch. It might have been up a little bit, but Lucroy just serves it out there in the right field.
Chris Carter takes a strike. Strickland bringing the heat, 97. Velocity continues to increase across Major League Baseball, especially when you get into the relief pitchers. A little jam shot past Strickland, got a chance here. That'll, no, I beg your pardon, that is a dead ball, foul ball off the foot. I was wondering why Carter wasn't running.
And Strickland really got in on his hands on that pitch. When you talk about upper 90s, boring in on the hand, look where he makes contact, hits him right in the foot. Look at that bat, just blows up in his hand. Ouch. Yep.
Now it makes sense.
Upper 90s with movement on it. They call it busy cheese.
Another jam shot. A little roller to third. Duffy. And the first out, Lucroy advances. It reminds me of the former Pirates closer, Jason Grilli, when he was on his comeback and throwing hard. His nickname and his Twitter handle was Grilled Cheese. Makes sense, right?
Did you follow him on Twitter?
No, I don't follow anybody on Twitter. Just you. Just Brewers fan camp. And a few writers. A few in the know.
So you do, you're on Twitter then?
I'm on it. Just not, I don't tweet.
You have a hashtag then?
No, I have a handle.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
What's a hashtag?
Well, a hashtag is the thing that you would put so you can either search or coordinate. It's not like your Brewers fan camp is not a hashtag.
Oh, I get you. Yeah. Okay. It's
So
kind of like a search thing.
Hashtag opening day today.
I get it.
Makes
So
sense.
you see everything involved
Yeah.
in opening day.
Kinda
Okay. I
collects
get
it all in one space.
See, I don't do that either.
Follow the hashtag. Well, all right. You have people for that. You spit out some pertinent information on your Twitter handle. Anything today? Anything you tweeted today for opening day?
Nah, too busy. Got here early.
I kind of feel like we're on the air basically for 4 hours a day, so we have our opportunity to speak to people.
Right.
So there's really no reason to.
And I don't.
Exactly.
I mean, I think if we're tweeting up here, we're taken away from what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Plus, we're too scared to get yelled at by fans. There's a lot of bullying out there on Twitter.
There is.
Broadcasters by nature have glass jaws, you know. We don't like that. We're paranoid as a bunch. I feel like you're going to have some pretty good tweets out there today, though. Sophia, she's out there tweeting. She's got a lot of good stuff. Always interesting.
You should not tweet in the camera well.
It's dangerous down there.
It's like tweeting when you're driving. You can't do that. Or texting.
And a public service announcement to boot. You should tweet that. 2-2 to Hill. Count stays. Well, Aaron Hill has been impressive today. The scoreboard notwithstanding, Hill has flashed some leather defensively. He's taken away a number of hits down there at third base.
Yeah, good soft hands, very accurate arm. Not really all that accustomed to third base, but he's not showing it. Looks comfortable over there at third, and he's got a base hit to boot.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat for Aaron Hill. Lucroy at second. Giants just scored 5 in the top of this inning. And down he goes. A strikeout. Out number 2 for Strickland.
Hey, break out the grills and head to Miller Park for the first weekend series of the year as the Brewers welcome Carlos Gomez and the Houston Astros to town for an interleague showdown this Friday through Sunday. Reserve your spot today at Brewers.com.
Looking forward to seeing Gomez. Mike Fiers will not pitch in that series. He's going in the first series of the year. Astros taking on the Yankees, but that game was postponed, so they do have an off day to play with. See if that affects their pitching plans. Astros a playoff team last year. Good day to start for Jeanette. Homered off Bumgarner. Had a single. He walked.
Just has a nice approach right now. Just looks like he's up there with a lot of confidence. Not a lot of movement in that swing. Keeping that front shoulder closed and been making good solid contact all day. And remember that walk that he drew in the 4th inning was an 0-2 count. Maybe to draw a walk from Bumgarner.
Well, that means he's got him right where he wants him right here. 0-2. Lucroy still standing at second after a leadoff single. Look out. To the screen it goes. Now, if you're just picking us up and you want to see a first for Scooter Gennett, first time he's ever homered off a left-handed pitcher in the big leagues, and he did it against one of the game's best.
And that tied the game in the 2nd inning.
Things were off to a roaring start today. But the Giants just kept adding to their lead, scoring in 4 consecutive innings, and then a 5 spot, all with 2 outs in the 8th. Denard Span with 5 runs batted in today. Duffy has 4. I saw Bryce Harper homer today. the Nationals are playing the Braves. That's significant because Bryce Harper has now homered in 4 consecutive opening days. What's he, like 18 years old?
Oh, he's getting up there now.
He's emerging.
Oh, 23.
Harper and Trout, 2 of the game's best. Hard to choose between them. I wonder if he bat flipped on that home run. Possible. I didn't see any video of
It's
it.
accepted these days, isn't it? I mean, that's not a big deal anymore.
Jeanette strikes out. And the inning is over. We go to the 9th. 12-3 San Francisco. That look summed it up, right? 12-3 as Brewers baseball today on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. With producer Brent Reeland, director Mark Vittorio, and our great crew. Opening day 2016 has not gone well for the Brew Crew today. They trail at 12-3. We're in the 9th inning. And Blaine Boyer back on the mound. Ahiri Adrianza will bat for San Francisco, his first at bat. Came into the game to play short for Crawford. Giants are going to have a very good team this year if they stay healthy. And they have starting pitching that matches up with anybody in the big leagues. Their 2 acquisitions of Jeff Samardzija and Johnny Cueto. Brewers are very familiar with Cueto. He gets the ball tomorrow against Jimmy Nelson. Cueto signing a 6-year deal with San Francisco at $130 million. And Samardzija will pitch on Wednesday as Adrianza with a base hit. Everybody's getting their hits for San Francisco today. That is the 15th of the game. Now, Samardzija, the former Cub, A's, White Sox, found a home in San Francisco. He signed a multi-year deal as well, a 5-year deal at $90 million, and he is on the mound Wednesday. Originally matching up against Matt Garza, but the Brewers are not sure that Garza will be able to make that start. Matter of fact, it's looking more likely that it'll be Taylor Youngman instead, as Sophia reported earlier today. Garza's dealing with tightness in his shoulder, but there'll be more news on that tomorrow, I'm sure.
Hey, Garza came out of that game in Houston and really didn't seem too concerned about it. He says he's probably going to be able to make his start, but that's in question at this point.
Too early in the season to push now, I would imagine. Carter will spin. He fires to second for the out there, and just late. So they get the lead out. Blanco reaches on a fielder's choice. Well, we got a night game tomorrow, Rock. Back into our primetime spot on Fox Sports Wisconsin, and then we'll do day baseball Wednesday. Council wants to take a look at this play at first.
Not even close.
I got him as safe.
Clearly safe. What do you got tonight, big game?
We have North Carolina and Mike Vasallo's Villanova Wildcats.
Yeah, what do you got?
I'm going to go North Carolina
Yeah.
by 15.
Really?
That's my call.
15?
Not that I want to see that. I
15?
think North Carolina's, they're on a different level right now, although I'm very impressed with Villanova. Aside from the Mike Vasallo factor.
That's why you're saying that, aren't you? You know he's listening.
The Brewers media relations director. I'm not sure what his ties are to Villanova, but this year, for the first time ever, he's a Villanova fan.
You know, at this point, I'm not sure what his ties are to the Brewers.
That's a good call. There he is.
Didn't see him all spring.
The proud papa.
Heard from him, though.
Baby Jackson. Congratulations to the Vasallos, Mike and Gina. And we're happy for her specifically.
Yeah, right.
Little concern for the kid with a father.
He's got 2 kids at home.
Like that. No, he's a proud papa. And he wasn't around much this spring. He was being dad. He's changing diapers.
He said he was practicing being a father, that he had a pet turtle for a while.
You try changing diapers on a pet turtle, man. Especially if it's one of those snapping turtles.
Nah, good for Mike. Good to see him. Hadn't seen him in a while, and everybody's doing well at home, and we like to give him a hard time.
I got to admit, spring training was awful smooth, though. Flawless from the media relations department.
Yeah.
Ken Spindler and Zach Weber doing a great job. Operating at full efficiency.
With smiles on their faces.
It's good to see everybody back here at Miller Park. That's one of the joys of coming back. We saw our buddy Lou Montgomery.
Yeah.
Lou's back.
Right.
Chief security upstairs. Pagan breaks his bat. And Flores is there for the out. 2 outs. A reminder, Rock, that baseball is back on FS1 Thursday. It's the Rangers and the Angels, if you're wondering. And it's all on America's Home for Baseball all season long. FS1, or you can watch it live this year on Fox Sports Go. Prince Fielder, Mike Trout matching up, Rangers, Angels. Glad to see Prince is doing all right. If you don't know the story, this spring he was dealing with sleep apnea. And that can be very serious. He was actually he stopped breathing while he was sleeping a lot and had to go back to Arlington, and they got it worked out. Good for him. That's a scary thing to have happen if you've ever dealt with sleep apnea. So we're happy to report that Prince is doing well.
And took care of it quickly, and yeah, he's okay.
First at bat for Trevor Brown, right off the end of the bat. And Boyer's going to get through the last couple of innings here. So, last call for the Brewers. They need 9. Might as well get 10.
Crew on opening day, and download the MLB.com ballpark app and personalize your trip to Miller Park. With digital ticket access, seat upgrades, food and beverage maps, check-in offers, and more. Download Ballpark today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
Thank you, Rock. Opening day, Miller Park. And opening week continues. All week, Brewers are home against the Giants and the Astros this week. As Josh Osich is on the mound. And the first Major League at-bat coming up for Colin Walsh. Switch hitting infielder. Can play a little outfield as well. Utility man. And his first at-bat in the big leagues. Nothing like your first, they say.
Yep. Nobody ever forgets their first at bat.
Let's see if he can make a memory here. Came to the Brewers from the Oakland Athletics. And it's a soft liner right to the shortstop Adrianza for the first out.
Hey, we talk about all the guys on the Brewers roster making their first opening day roster assignments. There's 7 of them, but Walsh is the only one making his Major League debut.
Well, they got into a game right away. That's good. Get those nerves settled and get back to the business of baseball. Here's Flores now. Ramon's second plate appearance. It was a matchup between Madison Bumgarner and Willie Peralta. Neither one of them pitched all that well. Bumgarner, we were told, dealing with flu-like symptoms prior to the game, but he hung in there for 5 innings and 3 runs. In line for the win. Back-to-back years of 18 wins for Bumgarner. And for Peralta, Rock, 4 innings. Had a nice first inning, nice and tidy, but then labored through his next 3, and really the pitch count got him. He had to work hard for his 4 innings today, giving up 5 runs, 4 earned.
Seemed like every time he walked the batter that started a big inning and they came around to score. Yeah, Brewers walked 5 today. 4 of those walks came around to score, and that doesn't include the error that started the big inning for San Francisco. That was the 2nd inning.
Craig Counsell's first game as a manager on opening day. Big production from Denard Span, who had 5 runs batted in his Giants debut, including a home run, part of that 5-run 8th inning. Giants had 3 consecutive home runs in the 8th. Span, Panic, and Posey. Matt Duffy with 4 runs batted in on 2 hits. The left-handed hitters for the Giants delivering in a big way in this matchup today. 7 runs batted in from the lefties in the lineup. Brewers got good work at the plate from Scooter Gennett, getting a chance to face a left-handed starter. Gennett with 2 hits, had a home run off Bumgarner and drew a walk. He was 2 for 3. Hit the first home run of the year for the Brewers, did Gennett, in the 2nd inning. Brewers got a homer from Jonathan Villar as well. That came in the 3rd. That led off the 3rd.
Santana with a couple of hits.
It's going to be interesting to see what Santana does out of the leadoff spot this year. Not your prototypical leadoff hitter, but
might hit some homers.
I think he might. He might hit one right now. Oh, he strikes out, and that's a ball game. The Giants win opening day here in Milwaukee. 12-3 the final. Bumgarner beats Peralta, and the San Francisco Giants, with 15 hits today, rough up the Brew Crew here at Miller Park. Brewers Live coming your way. Let's send it out to Craig Kashawn, standing by with Jerry Augustine and Davey Nelson. Take it away, Craig.
All right, B, thanks very much. Long afternoon for the home opener for the Brew Crew. Can't win them all. 12-3 your final. We'll hear from Craig Counsell, get inside the Brewer clubhouse as well. Break down this pitching matchup and get you set for game 2 coming up.